Louise is the wife of Duke Alex, a gentlewoman who has always devotedly loved her husband. Suddenly one day, Louise discovers that her husband's personality has changed strangely, as if he has become a completely different person, no longer the man she once loved so passionately. But the truth is, the soul of a novel's male lead has entered her husband's body. From a quiet marriage, Louise is swept into a tangled web of emotions, destiny, and the world of a novel. She must choose between her true husband and the perfect man now inhabiting that body. So which side will her decision lean toward? Please follow this captivating story with Lisa manhwa. The story begins with a scene of Louise lying listlessly on her soft bed, thinking about how he could not even make eye contact with her. She spent a long night like that, the first night passing with so many thoughts. I wondered if I had done something wrong, or no, maybe it was that kind of problem. I tried to think positively. Until the sunlight streamed through the window, lighting up a beautiful new day. I wondered why bad rumors reached even other countries. Louise was still lost in her own world. But he did not look like a bad person. Maybe he was just shy. If we both try, maybe things will get better perhaps. Her beautiful face was filled with new hope. This is a fresh start, and this time I want to have a warm family at all costs. In the library, every shelf was packed and neatly arranged. She walked intently through the aisles, searching for a book. After finding a few she liked, Louise could not help but marvel at the estate. Perhaps because it is a duke's mansion, there are so many rare books here. She turned toward the next row without noticing a tall figure standing there, wondering what kind of books were on this side. As a result, Louise's head accidentally bumped into a solid wall of muscle. Looking up, she was startled by the appearance of the person in front of her, Alex. His stuttering voice reached the top of her head. You are not hurt, thank goodness. What are you doing here? Louise hurriedly explained. It is nothing, just a hobby. I wanted to learn more about the place I will be living from now on. He avoided her gaze, his cheeks slightly flushed. In that case, could I suggest some books for you? In the large room, Alex's voice echoed. I also want to give you a tour of the library. Since that day, I have often been suggested books by him, and their encounters did not just stop at the library full of paper and words. Naturally, the time we spent having tea or talking together also increased. A handsome man whose every gesture was warm. The Alex I knew was a very gentle and kind person, but perhaps because of his stuttering, he often appeared timid. While her long eyelashes were softly closed in enjoyment, Louise accidentally remarked, I think Alex is capable enough to behave a bit more confidently. Her clear eyes looked toward the maid brushing her hair as she asked, I feel like there are other reasons. Do you know anything? The maid continued her work while helping answer the questions in her heart. The Duke's personality is a famous story in the Rielt Empire. It should start with the story of the Emperor and the Grand Duke. Hearing that, Louise's face immediately turned to shock. The Grand Duke, the one who passed away. According to the maid, Madam, you must have heard about Emperor Axon Kaisley, the cruel and inhumane emperor of the Rielt Empire, right? She began to talk about the root of the story between those men. To overthrow that tyrant, the Grand Duke had constantly opposed the emperor. His eyes narrowed, showing clear dissatisfaction. The emperor utterly loathed the perfect Grand Duke, who possessed great prestige and a noble character. His expression always commanded respect. Rumors spread in the royal palace that one should not meddle with the house of Duke Brandt. Facing Brandt was Axon's gloomy face. Sensing a crisis, the emperor became obsessed with finding flaws within the ducal family. Not wanting to prolong the situation, he turned and left. The increasing inspections put the ducal family in danger several times. Having voiced his opinion before, the Grand Duke said they had to protect the family and must be stricter with Duke Alex. That was what made him angry. You are stuttering again. Do you intend to become a disgrace to the family? Then he took it all out on him when he was just a young boy. You are stuttering again. Do you intend to become a disgrace to the family? The harsh voice accompanied by rage rang in Alex's ears. Right then he clutched a cheek that had been struck until it burned, his whole body trembling. Yes, father. Her narration did not stop. He called it treatment, but I think it was just his own selfish desire. And the emperor, recognizing the relationship between the two, constantly tormented Duke Alex. The noble image radiated a dark aura. He truly was a tyrant, violent and cruel, just like the rumor said. Louise's face darkened upon hearing about this person. Speaking of the emperor, I know from my own experience the first time I met that tyrant was at the party held at the royal palace after the wedding. It was when she and Alex walked side by side, looking as beautiful as a painting. Even in a place that should have been filled with kind words, that tyrant did not hesitate to ridicule me. That smile was etched into her mind. I wondered who would marry such a fool. Every word was like a dark shadow surrounding Louise. It seems like just another mediocre person who only has a pretty face. Huh. She would probably never forget Axon's face at that moment, don't you all think so? The two of them should have received endless blessings, yet they were surrounded by a scene no couple would ever want. The laughter and insults echoing in the hall made me feel truly humiliated. Despite the deep anger in my heart, I could not openly show my dissatisfaction with the Emperor. But the man beside Louise was different. I tried to ignore it with the thought of just wait and see, but Alex felt he could not endure it anymore. His expression provoked the king significantly. He stood up to the Emperor, and the Emperor almost brought an entire army to the Duke's mansion. The maid cherished her silky hair. Both of you have been through a lot, but since the Emperor has prepared this party as an apology this time, won't it be different? Louise turned back, a sweet smile on her lips. I hope so. However, she still could not avoid the worry. I hope nothing happens. Soon it was time for the party. In the hall, the crowd was dancing while only the lonely Emperor remained seated. She brought the glass of orange juice to her mouth for a sip. I am worried the Emperor will do something. His expression beside her was far from peaceful. Alex looked extremely anxious, especially after the rebellion caused a big problem last time. Not far from them, Axon was watching with a fierce and bloodthirsty look. Please, let us accept the apology and let the party end in peace. As a tyrant, he did not disappoint them, but perhaps I had wished for it too desperately. That day the Emperor suddenly dropped a massive bombshell. Axon's voice rose mysteriously. I have heard a very interesting story. They say people change when they receive a shock, right? It reached Alex's ears, making his tall frame tremble slightly. As a gift for the apology, I will cure your illness. Sitting on that throne, he slowly delivered the verdict. Because Duke Brandt has damaged the honor of the Empire and the power of the Duke, your title will be stripped as of today. His finger pointed straight at him. All the lands of the ducal house will be confiscated, and only the name shall remain. Anyone who ignores my command and helps the ducal family will be executed. The gates closed before their eyes, Duke. I truly hope your friend gets better. Louise collapsed onto the ground in a daze. And just like that, the ducal family fell overnight. She clutched her head with both hands, leaving her hair disheveled. No matter how crazy the Emperor was, who would have thought he would completely ruin the Duke like this in a single stroke? Just as Louise was in a state of confusion, a familiar deep voice spoke. It is not for nothing that they call him a tyrant. His hands clenched into fists, trembling uncontrollably. I am sorry, I am sorry. She softly called the man beside her, Alex. But he did not dare to face Louise. Alex. Warm tears streamed from his eyes. Everything. It is because of me. I am truly sorry, Louise. Even knowing the situation was inappropriate, her cheeks still flushed. Alex. Really, I am so sorry. He is my husband, but he is just so handsome. Immediately Louise regained her composure. No, that is not right. He is blaming himself way too much. The one at fault is that Emperor. She stood up abruptly and spoke with great spirit. Since things have turned out like this, we have to survive somehow. First, let us find a place to sleep for the night. We have no time to be careless. Night fell in a different house. I only let you in as an exception because I saw your pitiful situation. A woman's voice rang out, none too friendly. You can use this room and the one next door. Standing at the door were Louise and Alex's group. You should be grateful that we even accepted people like you. The person facing them spoke more and more harshly. And find another house and leave quickly before the Emperor finds out. We value our lives too. Upon seeing the room, Eloy's face immediately changed. This. I have to sleep here. The first plan they thought of had failed. We had to endure shame and even bow before our cousin's family, but we were rejected right at the gate. She pointed at the room and spoke loudly. Now I have to sleep in such a wretched place. Unable to keep her calm, she criticized her brother. All of this is because of you, brother. Alex lowered his head, not daring to look straight. I am sorry, Eloy. She angrily slammed the door shut. I do not care, brother, you must take responsibility. Despite Louise calling out after her, Lady Eloy. Yet another person making her depressed, that immature young lady. Nevertheless, Louise still kindly prepared the sleeping area. You must be very tired after walking all day, right? I will fix the bed right now, so please wait a moment, Alex. She held his shoulders. Alex, everything will be all right. She gave a smile so wide her eyes squinted, though it looked forced anyway. You are tired, so let us just consider this one night. Right after that, Louise was pulled into Alex's arms and held tightly. Tears once again rolled down his cheeks. Louise, if I were to be reborn again. Alex looked straight into her eyes. I would become more perfect, much more than I am now, and I would love you. Their hands intertwined, until I become your perfect husband. His tearful eyes were full of determination. I will be reborn again and again and again. That strength would help Alex stand up like a warrior. Louise, that is why I can protect you. He did not want to repeat that dark past ever again. And the next day, in another room of the inn, along with an empty bottle of rat poison, Alex was found with his eyes closed. She was the one who witnessed it all. Why did this happen? Why? The tears on her beautiful face could not stop. Why would you do that? The young man before her closed his eyes, no longer hearing Louisa's voice. Alex. Footsteps slowly approached them. This can't be. A strange creature spoke, just a mediocre, ignorant human. His massive body created a terrifying threat. I cannot possibly lose to a mere human. I am the god of this world. Alex drew his sword. This joke ends with you. His gaze carried an intense murderous intent. Let us end this battle quickly. Then he directly attacked the boss. He let out a cry of pain. Impossible. The boss's body turned into a giant explosion. Alex stood there, wiping away the blood on the corner of his mouth. His eyes were full of exhaustion. Finally, it is all over. The surroundings were empty with no one left beside him. There was no sense of achievement anymore, only emptiness. Everything had started so abruptly. Until the sky turned a brilliant red. One day, dimensional gates, also known as portals, opened paths into this world. Bizarre creatures appeared, and all sorts of monsters began pouring in. The world faced a grave threat. And there were those who stood up against this crisis, selected by the system. Standing up to fight the monsters, they were those who received supernatural powers, called awakened ones. Awakened ones became stronger by upgrading themselves through infinite quest chains, and with that power they defeated the monsters. That was exactly what Alex went through, and just now that war had come to an end. He looked down at his hand, still stained with that bright red substance. It had been a long war. Alex told himself, first of all, I just want to get plenty of rest. But he was a bit worried. With this, the world will be at peace once again. But what is this feeling? It feels like it is not over yet. At this moment, the system suddenly appeared. The system reported, congratulations, Cold Player, your title has changed. Cold Player to God of Slaughter. Looking at it, Alex asked with some confusion, the final reward has been sent to the Savior God of Slaughter, who successfully completed the 21st century quest chain. The final reward. I had a hunch, but was even the final battle a quest? The system asked again, do you accept? And he also had a bit of a hard time. There is no reason to refuse. Before Alex pressed the accept button, since it is the final reward, maybe the system will take me to a resort or something. It would be great if I could rest for a bit. Immediately, he said in bewilderment, the reward has been sent. Suddenly at this moment, Alex lost consciousness and felt dizzy. Suddenly my eyes. He realized right then that something was wrong. I am losing consciousness. Is this also part of the system's power? Slowly Alex sank deep down. This must be the reward. If so, I hope I can rest in peace. Beneath the stream of consciousness, he heard a faint sound. My dear son. So noisy. What is that sound? Alex, open your eyes. Suddenly he opened them again because, is she calling me? I have to hurry. I have to wake up. As soon as he sat up, Alex asked in confusion, just how long have I been unconscious? Seeing him wake up, Louise immediately took his hand and said, thank God, Alex, you are awake. Are you in pain? Is everything okay? Alex was a bit startled and asked, what? Then he felt moved as he looked at her. Seeing her wet eyelashes, Alex thought, touched. Who is this woman? Has she been taking care of me all this time? Then he turned to say, thank you. You must have taken care of me while I was unconscious. However, she still asked anxiously and repeatedly, what are you saying? Are you okay, honey? Hearing this, Alex was a bit frozen and thought, honey. Looking at her in front of him, he had a slight suspicion. Don't tell me. The final reward is not a vacation, but rather. Right then the family came over and said worriedly, big brother, you are awake. Alex, my son, how is your throat? Are you okay? Being bombarded with questions, Alex was also a bit flustered. He saw this and came over, waving them away. All right, he needs to rest and stabilize, so everyone please give him some space. At that time, Alex looked on in confusion. He was still bewildered and thought, at the very least, I need to summarize the situation. Because for the final reward, I have entered someone's body. Looking at her with worry. And she is the wife of this body, Alex. Alex thought back fondly. She cried when she saw me wake up. At this moment, Louise took his hand and said, Alex, I almost. She even bowed her head and said, I almost hated you. Did you know that? We suddenly lost all our money, the mansion, and even your title of Duke, but somehow I tried to endure it. Then Louise asked in confusion, but why did you make such a decision that day? She asked while crying, do you know how sad I was? Thinking of this, he was a bit awkward. Alex, the owner of this body. He lowered his head, understanding that he was stripped of his status and family honor in a single night, and perhaps he made an extreme decision. Looking at his hands, Alex realized, and although I have tried many times, the system still has not appeared. At this moment he was stunned. The most surprising thing was, turned out he realized that Alex guy and I look exactly the same, like clones. And above all, Alex also saw all the rewards the system sent to me are either useful or related to me in some way. He thought for a bit, this situation must also be related to me or have an underlying reason. Nevertheless, Alex asked in confusion, suddenly having a wife feels really hard to explain, being a cold and solitary person. Right then she called out, honey, are you okay? Seeing her worried, Alex realized, honey, she is calling me. Louise asked repeatedly in worry, you still look very pale. Are you sure you are okay? She felt a bit guilty again, and about the issue I mentioned earlier, the fact that I almost hated you and my feelings, please do not mind that too much. But Louise still smiled to reassure him, you are in a state of recovery, and I feel that I was too harsh on you. Afterward, she even raised her hand to his face and said gently, thank you for waking up. This is bad. Alex froze for a bit. She thinks I am Alex. And Louise also warned, but you must not do the same thing again, okay? Next time I will be truly angry. But as the kiss drew closer, he was a bit awkward and trembled. Someone else's wife. This is truly shameless. Unexpectedly, Alex spat out all the water. On the other side, Louise stood frozen, completely soaked. Seeing that, his face turned pale. I am sorry. At this moment, Alex was still thinking in confusion as she went out, will this life be okay? She thought worriedly while wiping her face. Did I get too close while he was still sick? It seemed like he choked badly. At this moment, Louise still could not believe it. However, what shocked her the most, I still can't believe Alex has come back to life. The shock is bigger than I thought. Louise lowered her face and asked, but turned out she had realized that there is something about Alex that seems different. Louise began to think back. He used to wrap himself up tightly as a habit. Remembering just now, she wondered, but today his shirt, his chest. Thinking of this, Louise immediately blushed. Seeing that, she brushed away the thought, no, what on earth am I thinking? This is not the time. First, Louise had to do something else. First of all, everyone must be very hungry since yesterday, so I have to prepare a meal now. It will be hard to prepare a feast, but it is still better than nothing. By this time, the food on the plate was all gone. She thought with some confusion, I was reminded again to move out as soon as possible, but we have nowhere else to go. Alex noticed and asked, you do not look very well. Seeing that, Louise spoke out, it is just, I do not think we can stay here anymore. The innkeeper has also started urging us to clear the room, because we do not know what the tyrant will do next. After telling him, she became even sadder. Even if I tell Alex this, it is not like he will have a clear solution. But it seemed Alex was thinking about something. Looking at him like that, Louise was a bit surprised. I have never seen Alex this calm before. Right then, Alex slapped his hand on the table and said, I understand. I have somewhat grasped the situation. Alex stood up and said, and I am certain I have a way to solve the problem. Hearing this, she said in a panic, what? Louise asked again, startled, what did you just say, Alex? Alex, who usually looks timid and withdrawn. Seeing that, he assured her, don't worry, I can handle finding a place for us to stay. Was he really saying that with such a confident and certain attitude? She began to worry more and clutched her head. Did the shock from the tyrant really know, or did the poison he drank finally take effect? At this moment, Louise did not know what to do. Exactly what do you plan to do? But he only lowered his head. Then he looked up and said confidently, first, I am going to earn money to buy us a house. At this moment, she was in the room feeling gloomy. Because Louise still asked in confusion, Could someone who could not look others in the eye change that much? Furthermore, just how does he plan to get a house? Is that really Alex? Just a moment ago, wife, please wait here and do not go anywhere. She did not have time to stop him. Wait, was what he said before rushing out. And a moment later, and after that, there is something I want to ask you. Yes. Suddenly Alex asked that tyrant. What is the emperor's name? Hearing that, she felt confused. Why is he asking for the emperor's name at a time like this? To engrave it in his heart once more. But Louise could only wait. I am so worried. Please come home soon, Alex. Outside, he thought as he walking around the streets, it feels just like a scene from a novel. What was even more astonishing, it is truly unbelievable that I have come to another world. Thank heaven this is not some primitive era. Suddenly at this moment, Alex stopped in his tracks. Remembering that name, he froze for a bit, the tyrant's name that I heard from my wife before leaving. Thinking back, Alex remembered, I just thought the name was quite familiar. He also realized something, and I realized it while walking. Because at that time, the book I received as a reward in my previous life, The Distorted Sun. As he remembered it, the main character's name is Axon Kaisley. However, Alex understood, although born into a royal family, his presence was faint, and he went through a miserable childhood. At that time, Axon, who utterly loathed his own situation, dreamed of a power that no one would dare to ignore. And up until this point, he finally, at all costs, carved out his own destiny through blood and ascended the throne as emperor. Having finished reading, he was still puzzled. That was all the information there was, right? Luckily, I kept the book and read it. I never expected it to be this useful. It was a book I read hoping it would grant some kind of reward. Thinking of this, Alex continued to analyze. So I still remember the content, which means Alex must be a character in this book. At this moment he still wondered, did such a person even appear? Alex's face darkened, filled with anxiety and suspicion. It could not be. He suddenly realized a very important truth. The Duke, the one who was mistreated by him, committed suicide by drinking rat poison. Alex felt a sense of despair at this discovery. That minor character from the beginning is me. He clutched his head in frustration, feeling that life was too unfair. The final reward I worked so hard to get is the life of a duke being toyed with by a tyrant. Alex found it hard to accept this cruel reality. It was a bit extremely unpleasant. Suddenly, a mischievous kid from behind threw a tomato at him. The kid threw a tomato at Alex's face while mocking him. Look, it is the stupid duke. Being stained made his mood turn sour. Who dares to do this? Alex immediately cast a move intended to scare the kid, the skill death stare. But contrary to his expectations, the kid mocked him back. What are you gonna do, huh? Glaring at me, you stupid duke. Then he suddenly realized his mistake. Oh right, the system window is not opening. The kid's mother quickly appeared to correct him. Adam, what are you doing? I told you not to be rude, and I told you you are not allowed to call him Duke anymore. She hurriedly apologized and led her child away. I am sorry, Mr. Alex. And you come here right now. Alex stood pensive, only able to watch the mother and son walk away. He stood still, looking at the way the original owner was treated, being treated like this. Alex also secretly guessed the previous life. All this time he had to live while being treated this poorly, did not he, Alex? He sighed once more, trying to regain his faith. From now on, this is the life I must live. Alex secretly made a resolution to change everything. I will not live and have to endure anything anymore. Time passed quickly. In another area, a few days after Alex left the inn, Louise sat in her room, her heart filled with anxiety and worry for Alex. I thought he would return in just a few days, but even many days later, there is still no sign of him. She trembled and clutched her head, filled with regret. He told the innkeeper he would pay triple the room rent when he returned and asked him not to kick us out. I should have followed him when he left. Suddenly someone walked in, their voice cutting through Louisa's thoughts. Has Big Brother still not returned? Eloy entered, her mouth constantly mocking Alex. How on earth does he plan to get a house? Did that rat poison make him lose his mind? She could not stand it and spoke up to stop her. Lady Eloy, you are being too harsh. The girl was startled but did not back down, retorting, so what is wrong with saying that? My brother, who can't even ride a horse, let alone hold a sword, how is he going to earn money to buy a house? Eloy turned her face away, her cheeks flushing as she spoke her honest thoughts. I wonder if he is out there being pelted with stones. Hearing that, Louise could only let out a sigh. Eloy was not entirely wrong. She said in a gentle voice to reassure Eloy, Alex surely had a plan when he left, so let us trust him and wait together. Alex's mother was also helpless because of her son's personality. I do not understand it either. He has never done anything on his own, so how could he plan to get a house? Louise strongly agreed with her. I wonder about that too. She acknowledged Alex's talent, but things were still very confusing. No matter how intelligent or good with bookkeeping Alex might be, Louise could not wrap her head around it. He won't be able to get a job because of that tyrant's notorious reputation. She gazed out the window with a sad look. In a situation like this, how could he possibly get a house? At that same moment, Alex had returned after his absence. Just seeing his silhouette made Louise very happy. That familiar figure, that tall frame, and that radiant face even from afar, she could not help but call his name Alex. Alex walked in with a composed manner, gently asking, "Has everyone been waiting long?" Louise quickly ran to his side, showing her care. "Where have you been all this time without saying a word?" He raised a hand to stop her, calming everyone down. "More importantly, please pack your things." Alex announced the important news to everyone. "I have found a house for us to live in." Seeing their expressions made him puzzled. Why the reaction? Alex's face turned pale as he tried to explain to the three of them, "I did not steal someone else's house, so do not worry. Anyway, we have to move before it is too late." Immediately, Eloy became anxious and questioned him. "Brother, you are not stuttering anymore, say something else." His mother's tears flowed, unable to believe this reality. "Oh my God, Alex, to think you can speak with such confidence and hold your head high like this. Is it really you, Alex? You have become like a different person." She kept questioning Alex's change. "What happened?" He broke out in a cold sweat and replied haltingly, "It seems the rat poison I consumed had an effect, mother." Both of them froze, their faces full of questions. What rat poison? Alex sincerely made up a story to explain to his mother and sister. "At first, I was suffering from a certain illness." He talked nonsense trying to legitimize the situation, and the rat poison seems to have functioned as a medicine and cured the illness. Deep down, Alex did not know what he was doing. What on earth am I saying? Eloy did not believe what he said. No way. But their mother shed long tears of happiness. "It must be the rat poison. I think so too. I heard that rat poison can sometimes be used as medicine." She was so overjoyed that she had to thank the heavens. Surely God is protecting us. Alex secretly felt lucky that he passed the hurdle. Fortunately, everyone believed that nonsense. But since I do not know what the original Alex was like, it feels like walking through a minefield. At this point, Louise leaned into his ear and whispered, "Alex, but really, how did you get the house? It is not a mortgage, is it?" Alex smiled gently, his tone firm and certain. "It is nothing, I just sold what I had." She was attracted by that look and blushed. Since when did he become like this? So Alex has this capability. Then he reminded Louise about their new home. "We are almost there." Alex introduced the mansion before them. "This is the house we will be staying in." Louise looked at the house and still could not believe her eyes. "Does my husband really have a house like this?" He continued to explain the place to her. "Because it was a rush sale that just went on the market, I quickly bought it." The many worries in Louise's mind were finally untangled. A place like this. We do not have to worry about what others think anymore. We will be able to live together peacefully, like a real family, right? She shed warm tears, still unable to believe it. "How could you get such a wonderful house in just a few days?" Alex stepped lightly to her side, his voice soothing as he explained, "I got lucky. There are rumors that this house is haunted, so the people who came to buy it ran away." He continued talking despite Louise and Eloy's speechless faces. "They said the owner also fled last night because of the ghost, so they left everything behind." Alex's face remained bright as he recounted the story. "The owner fled last night, saying a ghost appeared and destroyed the house. Thanks to that, he could buy this house. Immediately after, they reduced the price to an extremely low level." A quiet atmosphere followed Alex's words. The three women, without planning it, expressed the same attitude. He innocently ignored it and invited all three to come inside. "Now let us go in. Once inside you will see." Eloy could not take it and screamed, "I was so stupid to expect anything." She shouted irritably, not wanting to go in. "You said a ghost? I knew something was wrong with that idiot. Go live with your ghost. I am not going." Louise felt a vein pop in anger at that attitude, silently cursing Eloy, this insolent brat. She could not stand that behavior. She might be an adolescent with fluctuating emotions, but this was a bit much. Louise did not dare to blame her too much in her heart, of course. The fact that her engagement to the person she liked was cancelled is indeed very sad, but that is the tyrant's fault. However, she was more worried about Alex. Alex is probably blaming himself again, so he must be hurting too. Louise turned around, tentatively calling his name Alex. She tried to reassure Alex and break the atmosphere, don't worry too much. But it seems he did not care much about it. There is nothing we can do, we can't force her. Let us just go in ourselves. This directly shocked Louise. What? Their mother was equally surprised. Oh my God, Alex, what did you just say? She gave a strained expression, explaining for Eloy, the girl is indeed a bit difficult, but do not mind her. This is a sensitive age. Alex did not take it to heart and replied gently, if she regrets it, she will come back. Now let us go inside. He picked up the luggage and turned to walk into the new home. She was very satisfied with the new version of Alex. If I knew he would change this much, I would have let him try sooner. Louise broke out in a sweat and asked the mother pardon. She waved her hand and walked in with her. It is nothing, let us just follow Alex and go inside. Then suddenly she turned around, worried about Eloy's safety, having come all this way. Where else could the girl go? Louise did not know what else to say. Yes. She recalled Eloy's personality and felt exhausted. That is right, Eloy even once crawled back after acting arrogant. Louise shook her head in a helpless manner. Who can stop a hurting teenager, those turbulent years of youth? The midday sun covered the entire space of the new house. Louise stepped inside, looking around at the surroundings. It looked even bigger than from afar. It was an old house, but still, what is that? She accidentally discovered a spider in the corner. Is that a spider? Looking at it, Louise fell into deep thought, her mind racing, looking closer. This place is a mess. Didn't the owner just flee yesterday? Could there really be a ghost here? She quickly pulled Alex's sleeve, calling his name tremulously, honey. Louise asked with sparkling eyes, I feel a bit silly asking this, but the ghost. It is gone, right? Alex also sensed her fear. At this point, suggesting everyone move to another place would be rude and impossible. He took Louise's hand and said gently, Madam. Alex lightly squeezed her soft hand to comfort her. Are you afraid? When we go inside, I believe you will like it. Louise looked at him so intently that she replied stutteringly, yes. His mother brushed past them both, saying unhappily, where else can we go now? If there is a ghost here, that is fine too. She did not care about the house at all, only about adapting anyway. I am going to die soon, might as well make a few more friends first. Both Alex and Louise froze and she asked again, what? The interior of the house was all shiny and luxurious. Both Louise and the mother were shocked by this sight. Good heavens, what is? She looked all over the house and could not stop marveling. I thought I would never get to live in such a cozy house again. Louise placed her hand on the staircase and praised it. Oh my God, this house is so clean and beautiful. In her heart, a sense of indescribable joy welled up. It was not as majestic as the Duke's mansion, but it was still. Maybe we can live here peacefully with the ghosts, huh? Suddenly from behind, Alex spoke up. You seem to like it. He gave a radiant smile, his face looking very fresh. I am very happy. Louise looked at him with eyes full of emotion, replying softly, Alex, thank you so much. She did not hesitate to express her feelings to Alex. I did not expect you to find such a beautiful place. I am sorry for doubting you. Both of them looked at each other passionately. Suddenly a noise made Louise jump. Eloy was pouting, shyly hiding behind the door. She tried to clear her throat. The mother saw her daughter and welcomed her. Eloy, Louise also felt somewhat relieved. Faster than I thought. Eloy stared wide-eyed at the scene inside the house, saying hesitantly, this place is. She could not hide her joy. Eager to go explore, the outside looks shabby, but the inside is truly wonderful. I am going to check upstairs. Alex also went over to talk to Eloy. There are many rooms, just pick whichever one you like. She excitedly made a request, can I choose first? Louise was very happy to see everyone getting along. Of course, make yourself at home. I will go cook a snack. It is almost mealtime. Seeing that all three were very satisfied, Alex announced, then I will go wash up. Alex thought to himself as he walked, they might be strangers I have never met, but I can't ignore people who are about to lose their home. He walked to his room and closed the door. Alex was still pensive. Regardless, I can't hide my true identity, Alex, forever. They have already started to suspect me. It is only a matter of time before they find out. He slowly unbuttoned his shirt, revealing a firm chest. Next, the shirt was tossed onto the floor. Alex turned on the tap, preparing to soak himself. Suddenly he caught a glimpse of himself in the mirror. The mirror, thinking of this. Alex looked in the mirror and marveled, that is right, we look too much alike. Except for the scars, my face looks exactly the same. There must be a reason. Then he thought about something else. Judging by the family's reaction, he probably used to stutter a lot. But I wonder what he did in his capacity as Duke. Finally, he soaked himself in the hot water. Alex leaned his head back and let out a sigh. After investigating, I have confirmed this world truly is the setting of the distorted sun. Thanks to that, I can sell the knowledge I know from the book at a high price, even if it completely flips the original plot's flow. He felt a bit confident. The distorted sun is definitely a reward for me. Even though the system does not appear anymore, I still subconsciously think about quests. Thinking of the new name Alexis Myers, he unconsciously knitted his brows. A figure appeared in his thoughts. Alex. No wonder that name felt strangely familiar. Scene changed to another location. The furniture looked a bit old. Louise looked around, assessing. The old owner must have fled and left all their food here. She carried a basket of potatoes, thinking to herself, this is our house now, so this food is also ours. Louise carried it into the kitchen. Her jaw dropped in surprise. Oh my God, there is a lot of food in the kitchen too. Nevertheless, Louise's face was full of helplessness. But the only thing I can make right now is steamed potatoes. Next, she slowly put the potatoes into steam. Right at that moment, Eloy ran over eagerly. That smells so good. Louise greeted her. Eloy. She happily announced, dinner is almost ready. Can you go to the dining room and call Alex and Mother? However, she only saw Eloy's despairing face. What, only steamed potatoes? Is that all there is? She cried and complained, we have not eaten anything but dry bread since yesterday. I want soup or beef for dinner. Louise carried the plate of food, reproaching her in her heart. How could she be so picky about food at a time like this, even if she is immature? She thought back, when we were at the Duke's mansion, she could just order the chef to make whatever she wanted, from appetizers to desserts. Thinking so, Louise was irritated. Doesn't she understand that those things are impossible now? These potatoes are perfectly edible, you even said they were delicious, Alex. Eloy refused to back down. My brother won't care about that, she helplessly advised. Now we have to eat what is available. If the problem is they are dry, then tomorrow I will make potato soup for you. She sobbed, showing her refusal. The next second Eloy screamed and ran off. I am not eating. Louise thought wearily, that kid, does she think I will even bother to care? She walked inside coldly. She will come back on her own once she gets hungry anyway. That middle schooler needs to face reality, and soon. Louise set the plate of potatoes down hard on the table. She felt secretly happy anyway. This is our first meal in the new house. Let us eat happily and gratefully. A hand forcefully jabbed a fork into a potato. Alex's mother commented while eating, if ghosts really exist, I wish they would visit the Emperor's chambers tonight. She spitefully suggested, that would be such a surprise it would give him a heart attack. Seeing that, Louise gave a forced smile. Now I do not have to worry about housing anymore, but the anger I forgot has returned. Anyway, it is a relief that we can have a peaceful dinner like this. The mother continued, it is a relief we can eat, but the thought of having to worry about what to eat from now on is terrible. She expressed with difficulty, we can hold out with the remaining food, supplies. Alex spoke up, if that is the case, I will go hunt a sheep or something tomorrow. We bought the livestock outside along with the house, so it is fine. These words startled both of them. What hunting? What did you just say? Hunting sheep? You personally? He waved his hand to explain, hunting sheep is not that hard. His mother found it hard to believe. Oh my God, I never expected you to say something so reliable. She recounted sadly, since you were little, you cried so much because you thought killing things was pitiful. Alex looked intently at his hands. Physically, there is no problem, so maybe he was just a soft-hearted person. Louise was amazed. I can't believe a person could change so suddenly. The mother chimed in, if I could, I would give that bastard emperor a bowl of rat poison too. Saying this, she angrily slammed the table, and for those other nobles too, how could they just stand by and do nothing? Her shrill voice rang out incessantly, all they care about is their own safety. They do not care about this country at all. Louise pondered, understanding we were just like those nobles until recently. The image of the brutal emperor appeared in her mind, the kind of noble who fears the emperor so much they do not dare do or say anything. Louise commented, from now on, more people will be watching His Majesty's every move, because he is the type of person who can destroy a perfect ducal family like this. Alex's mother angrily retorted, our family is the exact example. Now that he has seized our private army and assets, what power can stop him anymore? Despite that, Louise gave a sweet smile anyway. They say no tyrant will meet a good end, right? She tried to reassure everyone. When reading history books, a hero always appears at times like this. It would be so satisfying if someone appeared and got rid of this tyrant, would not it? The mother did not believe it. You say a hero, I will die of old age before someone shows up. We will have to find strength for ourselves. Louise turned and noticed Mother actually. Alex, you have finished eating too, right? She gave a sincere smile. Thanks to Alex, we will have a good meal tomorrow. This made him blush with embarrassment. The next second, he turned his head away and cleared his throat. Louise also noticed it. He is looking away. Is he shy because I suddenly praised him? Anyway, stop thinking nonsense and just try to live well. Alex's mother exclaimed helplessly, my son is truly something else. Suddenly she remembered something. By the way, I have something I want to ask you. Answer me honestly, Alex. She questioned him in a serious tone. You did not sign some kind of illegal slave contract and use the house as collateral, did you? Louise was also surprised by this question. Even if we have nowhere else to stay, surely that is not it, right? I do not think he is that kind of person, but look at how much he has changed. Hearing that, Alex remained silent and did not answer. Her imagination grew even wilder. What if he traded the house for something unspeakable? Louise clutched her head, unable to accept it, and screamed no. Right at that moment, Alex slammed his hand on the table to deny it. I did not do anything that would make you worry like that. He offered a few reasons. I just sold some information, and they paid handsomely for it. Hearing that, the two were left in a daze, confused. Selling information? What kind of information did you sell? Alex fell silent again to think, while Louise thought with a bit of hesitation, was I being too nosy? His voice rang out gently. Do you know that there is a missing prince in the royal palace? She continued. A missing prince? Are you referring to Prince Ridhit? Alex confirmed. That is right. Prince Ridhit was the late-born son of the former emperor, and the first in the line of succession to the throne. However, 4 years ago, when the former emperor passed away and the succession was underway, the former emperor's nephew used his overwhelming military power to push the prince aside and seize the throne. He justified it by claiming he would rule as regent on behalf of Ridhit, who was only 3 years old at the time, until the prince turned 13. But Prince Ridhit was imprisoned in the palace, and at some point he vanished. Alex's mother assessed with a darkened expression. They say he disappeared, but everyone is certain of one thing: he was murdered. Louise thought the same. Indeed, that tyrant would never let him live. Right at that moment, Alex dropped a bombshell. That prince is not dead. He is still in hiding, evading the tyrant's pursuit. Alex stated, the prince is not dead. He has been hiding to stay out of the tyrant's sight. His mother asked in disbelief, Prince Ridhit is still alive. He affirmed confidently, yes, recently there are those who are desperately searching for this missing prince. They are surely planning a rebellion, using Prince Ridhit as their justification. This made Louise ponder. I see, Prince Ridhit is the perfect excuse. They are finally planning to revolt. His voice continued, therefore, I told them of Prince Ridhit's whereabouts and received a reward. She was startled in surprise. What? How did you manage to do that? Alex's mother also found it hard to believe, information that even those following him did not know. This astonishment made Alex start to feel guilty. He tried to make an excuse about that. Alex fabricated a reason. Thanks to an unexpected opportunity, I saw a message that could be a clue to his whereabouts. Louise repeated in disbelief. A clue to his whereabouts? He confirmed. Yes, because I do not have it with me now. It is quite hard to see that message again, but... His mother rubbed her chin skeptically. Good heavens, it is indeed strange. If he did not die, a trace must have been left behind. Alex lowered his head sadly. I could not find out who left it or for what reason. That is right. The author and the purpose of the distorted sun are still unknown. Hearing that, she let out a sigh. I feel very relieved to hear you say this. Lately, so many unbelievable things have been happening that I was suspicious. Louise also replied with a smile. I hope Prince Ridhit is safe, as he is our only remaining source of hope. His mother felt a bit helpless. Even so, do not hope for too much. Would that crazy emperor really accept defeat so easily? Alex's mother analyzed. We have moved into a new house, and since Alex is going hunting, I think it would be wonderful to hold a party tomorrow. Louise was very excited. That is a wonderful idea, mother. She began to muse. Tomorrow we can clean together and have a feast with the lamb Alex hunts. It will surely be busy, but it seems like it will be a happy day. Suddenly, a voice spoke up, startling Louise. Is there any dinner left? It was Eloy, shyly peeking from behind the door. Louise remembered then, right, it is about time she got hungry. She called out, hurry over here and sit down. I won't save food for you next time. Eloy pouted as she walked in. I will come faster next time. A while later, the house became quiet. Someone held a candle in their hand, walking forward. Arriving at her destination, she held the snuffer, prepared to extinguish the candle. Louise felt an underlying worry. I heard this house was once haunted by ghosts, but nothing unusual has happened. Right, I wonder what will happen in the middle of the night. She climbed the stairs step by step. From now on we should set up a rotation schedule for housework. Louise divided the tasks. I should go to sleep immediately after turning off all the lights. She thought to herself, I wonder if Alex is asleep yet. Just then Louise saw him in the hallway. Alex. She happily approached and asked, honey, you are not asleep yet. Alex spoke gently, it is late, let us go to bed. Louise explained softly, it took me a bit more time because there were a few things to clean up. She blushed shyly, I am about to rest. What about you? Alex replied, I was also planning to go inside and rest. Louise tried to remain calm. Thank you for telling me that story tonight. It surely was not easy no matter what. Hearing that, Alex scratched his head in embarrassment. I did not think you would worry about me. I am sorry. She quickly denied it. No, it is not like that at all. Louise understood everything. It is just that I do not want you to carry the burden alone. Her words were deeply moving. I am always here standing by your side. Louise placed her hand on his shoulder, expressing, I also want to be a source of strength for you. I realize this while waiting alone. Even if it gets harder, I still want us to overcome it together. Alex took her hand appreciatively. Thank you, I feel much more relieved now. I will remember this well in the future. Seeing that, Louise gave a radiant smile. If you face any difficulties, just tell me. I will contribute my strength too. Alex always had a nice voice, but hearing him say such kind words made her feel so happy. Suddenly she called softly, Alex. Louise made a suggestion that made him freeze. If you do not mind, let us sleep in the same room. Alex stammered, not knowing how to respond. That. Louise gathered all her courage to say, it sounds a bit sudden, but today is a new day, and you have recovered a lot. Seeing him stunned, she guessed, but now I can't take back my words. She recalled the painful memory. I won't leave him alone at night to let something like that happen again. Louise took his hand and pleaded, I just want to be with you. Just because we are husband and wife does not mean we have to do that at night. Alex repeated together. He thought to himself, this is a big problem. I am thinking of myself as the husband. He observed her intently. Of course Louise was beautiful, kind, and Louise hugged him while he was busy thinking, I have to tell her that I am someone else. This action made Alex's body stiffen. Louise called softly, Alex. In her heart she was confused. Why is he so stiff? Is he that nervous? Even so, being able to hold him like this makes me feel so happy. Could it be that I was that lonely? As she thought, her grip tightened even more. I pretended not to be impatient, but Louise felt flustered. I pretended not to be impatient, but in truth I have been longing for a gentle touch. Suddenly, Alex pushed her away forcefully. I am sorry, madam. He bowed politely. I will take my leave first today. Louise called after him, still in a daze. Alex, did I just get rejected? She was extremely confused. I only asked if we could share a room. And he hated it so much that he ran away. Louise cursed under her breath. How embarrassing. I hate Alex. Meanwhile, Alex covered his face in disbelief. This is crazy. His face was still flushed, unable to cool down. Alex clutched his head in discomfort. Such intimate contact. He recalled the moment. I could feel the warmth from where she touched me. Suddenly Alex noticed another issue. Wait, are not her hands too thin? And when she leaned against me, she was so light. And she was both soft and fragrant. The next second he was speechless at himself. What on earth am I thinking? No matter what her body is like, she is someone else's wife. Alex slumped in the dark room. He thought of something else anyway. What she said earlier. Louise had claimed just because we are husband and wife does not mean we have to, do that every night. He was confused. We look like a happy couple, so why would she say that? Suddenly Alex realized, don't tell me. He clutched his head in despair. Could it be? Is it because I can't do that? This made Alex flustered. There must be something I do not know yet. He was panicked to the extreme. No, but seriously, is this the reward I get after saving the world? I have no money, no house, my family's reputation is ruined, and now even that. Thus Alex drowned in his own thoughts. The system displayed the cold virgin. He exclaimed, I did not even use it once during the war. Thinking of this, Alex began to regain his confidence. No, that can't be it. Let me think carefully. Suddenly he remembered something, speaking of which, earlier. Alex swallowed hard. When she got close, I think I had a bit of a reaction. Alex looked down at his lower half. Seeing that, he let out a sigh. See, perfectly normal. What a relief. Alex lay on the bed, confused. Have I always been this sensitive? He could not remember. He had been tempted many times before, but it was always a nuisance, just an annoyance. Next he looked at his hand, but Louise, Meanwhile, she was letting out a sigh. Louise groaned wearily. God, I am dying of embarrassment. I should have just kept quiet. She was helpless against herself. I should just blow out all these candles. Afterward, Louise walked while thinking about being rejected by Alex. Next, she flailed her arms and legs wildly. Why do I keep thinking about that? It is so weird. Suddenly she noticed something strange. Why did he say he would be the perfect husband? Louise fell into deep thought. We had difficult times, but we overcame them together, and that is all in the past. He found us a house, and his stuttering is gone. I thought he wanted to build a happy life with me. Finally she concluded, don't tell me. He hates me. Louise suddenly remembered something. Come to think of it, I have never told him that I like him. Alex is my husband and I am his wife. I just thought living like this was natural. I never really thought about love or being attracted to him before. Her heart suddenly skipped a beat. So, have I fallen in love with him? Louise began to daydream. I mean, Alex is totally my type with great looks and a sweet personality, but can I really call this love? However, the incident just now made her sad. Even so, what can I do? He is already my husband. I should stop overthinking and just go to sleep. Louise reached out to extinguish the last candle. Before she could touch it, the wind blew it out. This confused Louise. Was there a cold draft from somewhere? She looked around, assessing the situation. The windows are closed, though. A chill ran down Louise's spine in fear. This. Do not tell me. She recalled the story from before. We are lucky. I heard everyone who came here to stay fled, saying this place is haunted. Louise shook her head, trying to reassure herself. No, no way. It is just a draft. Yes, just that. She quickly ran to her room. Right, I am just tired and imagining things. Only a few more candles. I will turn them off and go to bed. Right at that moment, a dim shadow appeared near the wall. The next second it vanished into thin air. The next morning the dishes were beautifully laid out. Louise clutched her head comfortably, thinking about how a day like this could come to them again. Loy marveled, did you cook all of these yourself? She was a bit modest. No, Alex helped me a lot. The girl was surprised. Big brother, how? Louise continued. Right, I thought he did not even know how to hold a kitchen knife. She happily recounted, when I woke up this morning. At that time Louise yawned and opened the kitchen door. Suddenly she was startled and stood frozen. What? What are these? Pieces of meat were neatly arranged. No way, did he prepare all of this himself? Alex approached from behind and called, Madam. Louise asked happily, Honey, did you really prepare the lamb? He replied shyly, As you can see. She could not help but exclaim, Oh my God. Louise was extremely excited. To be honest, she had not expected much. The meat was sliced so perfectly, it looked like it came straight from a shop. Her determination burned brighter. All right, then it is time for me to show my skills, right? Alex approached her kindly. Can I help with anything? She looked up and replied, No, you have already helped so much with the preparation. The two of them touched, making her feel shy. You already helped and now you want to cook too. Why do not you go to your room and rest? Isn't this too close? After last night, this is so embarrassing. Louise's voice grew quieter. Even so, I know a bit about cooking. Alex quickly interjected. Then let me start with this first. She tried to regain her composure. In that case, let us start by cutting this into even pieces. After that, the two cooked in perfect harmony. Back to the present, Louise began to daydream. Who would have thought we would cook together? Eloy was already drooling. It looks so delicious. I am getting hungry. Next, the dishes were laid out on the table. Alex's mother was very satisfied. It has been a long time since we had such a feast. Louise felt restless. This is the first meal we have cooked ourselves since losing everything. I thought we were hopeless, but look at this banquet. She brought a piece to her mouth and ate it. Louise could not believe it was so delicious. It was as if the ingredients were exploding in her mouth. It is so good. She hurriedly asked Alex, what do you think, is it good? He praised it is very delicious. Alex did not forget to encourage her, your hard work has paid off. Hearing that, she shyly turned away, it is all thanks to you. Thank you for helping me cook. Her gaze lowered, where could I find such a thoughtful duke for a husband? I do not know if he loves me, but he truly is a sweet man. Alex kept praising, it was not hard at all. If anything, you are the one who has been working hard since morning, madam. She was flustered, no. His mother was startled in surprise. Wait, Alex, what does this mean? She was a bit shocked. You helped with the cooking, how? Sweet. But you have work to do too, right? Louise thought wearily, Alex is a good son. He can't go against his mother. Besides, it is not that he loves me, it is his mother he loves, right? Alex called softly, mother. She felt she knew exactly what would happen next. Obviously, he would take his mother's side. However, he slowly stated, it is not fair to say Louise did all the cooking work. This left his mother stunned. Eloy was also startled and spat out her food. The two could not believe it. What do you mean not fair? Are you saying we need to hire servants? I do not think that is what he meant, mother. Eloy questioned irritably, brother, are you scolding us for making Sister Louise prepare the meal herself? Alex confirmed without hesitation, exactly. It is not fair for her to have to prepare the meal alone. Louise has been cooking all the meals by herself since we were at the inn. The girl shouted even more angrily, then who will do it? Me, I do not want to do anything, or mother, who has been served her whole life. Alex countered without backing down, haven't you ever done it? Everyone starts somewhere. Don't worry, Eloy and mother can do it too. After he finished speaking, the room fell silent. Louise was also bewildered in this situation. Oh my God, is Alex taking my side in front of his mother? He used to be so afraid of opposing his mother or making her sad. She remembered before, at most, he would apologize on his mother's behalf when we were alone. Eloy tried to deny it. She likes doing it. Why are you making a fuss, brother? If you do not like it, do it yourself, Louise thought, but I never said I wanted to handle all the housework alone. Alex's mother was also indignant. That is right, Alex. I understand what you are saying. So let us see Louise's opinion first and then decide. She shifted her attention to her. Louise, tell us. She was startled. Why ask me all of a sudden? Her gaze was a warning. Do you also want Eloy and me to help with the cooking? Louise assessed in her mind. That is the look of someone who wants me to do all the unpleasant, dirty work. There is too much to do, cleaning, laundry, gardening. How can I do it all alone? She began to play the victim. To tell you the truth, I am just happy that everyone likes the food, but I guess I am not good enough. You all must be looking for a chef because my cooking skills are weak. Louise pointed and declared, I will give up meal preparation from now on. Why, mother? The other two shouted, Louise, sister. She covered her face and groaned, thinking about it. It is not just cooking. I also have to clean the house, do the laundry, and change the bedsheets. I have to light the candles daily, and we can't neglect the sheep, right? Louise's voice was full of grievance. There is too much other work to do, so I won't cook anymore and will only do the cleaning. The other two's faces darkened accordingly. Please find a chef you like and enjoy a delicious meal. Alex spoke up to advise, how about this? We will each take responsibility for cooking and cleaning. He pointed to himself to take the job. I will take on the hard manual labor, such as herding sheep. Doing laundry is also hard, so it is better that I do it. This made Alex's mother stand up abruptly. She scolded him severely. I am truly disappointed, Alex. I thought you had only lost your title, but now you have lost your pride too, Louise criticized in her mind. Pride, if it is the kind of pride lost over housework, I would rather not have it. No matter what anyone says, you are still the respected head of the Brandt ducal family. She placed her hand on her chest and announced, I will not stand by and watch you clean animal pens and touch dirty water. I would rather see you die honorably. Alex remained stubborn, but our circumstances have changed, have not they? I would be very grateful if you could lend a hand, mother. Hearing that, she gnashed her teeth in frustration. The next second she turned and left. All three turned their heads to watch Alex's mother's retreating back. Eloy also showed a dejected expression. She spoke while eating. I never said it was bad, okay? Then, Eloy continued eating her food. Louise turned to him gratefully. Thank you, Alex, for speaking up for me. But your mother seems very angry. What should we do? Alex waved it off. It is okay. I did not know she would be that upset when I said that. She was overjoyed. I would be sad too if I were her. She is not an ordinary noble. Which family has prestige like the Brants or such deep ties to the royalty? All of that was true. Until the generation of the former Duke Brant. Louise felt more refreshed than ever. But anyway, I have someone on my side. Is it normal to feel this happy just because my husband defended me once? Just then Eloy hurriedly asked sister-in-law, is there any meat left? She prepared to get up and look. I do not know, let me check. Louise looked in the pot and remarked, there are still a few pieces of meat. However, she smiled and said, wait, no, the meat is all gone. Seeing that, Eloy stood up. Fine, then I will go check mother's. She quickly brushed past Louise. She happily put the meat into another bowl. Louise brought it to Alex. Eat more, Alex. You are the only one in this house who thinks of me, so I have to make sure you are well taken care of. He was stunned by the faint scent from her hair, this fragrance. I am fine. The system displayed congratulations. Alex felt strange and asked, Alex, is something wrong? The system continued to announce, Louise, you have completed a hidden quest. When a hidden quest is completed, the system will open. Hidden quest, receive 3 or more pieces of lamb that Louise hid. Alex was surprised. What is this? She grabbed the plate and scooped more food. Then she brought it to Alex again. Louise asked curiously, Alex, is something wrong? Seeing him not responding, she kept calling Alex. Only then did he regain his senses. I was just thinking. Alex supported himself with his hands and stood up. I am sorry, madam. I will go inside first. Just then, a system panel blocked him, making him freeze. The system warned, warning, if you refuse Louisa's sincerity, the quest reward will be cancelled. Please eat it quickly. Alex was extremely bewildered. I thought I would never see it again. He recalled, in the old world it was blue, but here it is pink. Alex fell into despair. It was like a game that seemed to have ended was now starting all over again. However, he still turned to leave. Did it really think he would follow orders just because it displayed them like this? Seeing this, the system was utterly bewildered. Alex walked straight ahead without looking back. The system panel continuously flashed reminders, warning, warning, warning. Please accept Louisa's sincerity, or the mission reward will be cancelled. This irritated Alex. What on earth, a reward? Did the system mean those 3 affection points? This is not a dating sim. I am not going to force myself to act just for some favorability points. Besides, I do not even know why I need to increase them. He reached out to open the door. Too much for a final reward. Feels like I am right back at the starting line. The system continued to plead, it is not too late. Accept the hidden mission reward and improve your relationship with your wife. You must clear the hidden mission to unlock the next one. Even so, Alex thought differently. Louise is someone else's wife. Why should I improve my relationship with her? And I do not like it. It feels like I am taking advantage of her. The system displayed, warning. You must improve favorability to level up. Level up to defeat the tyrant Axon and stop the evil forces. The next second, the bedroom door closed. It warned repeatedly, hidden mission failed. Favorability decreased by 3, EXP decreased by 10, trust decreased by 3. Alex found it strange. Had not trust only increased by 1, why did it drop by 3? The system explained, your title has changed from savior who killed a god to cold-blooded husband. Level 1 favorability 0, trust 2 title cold-blooded husband. He lay on the bed thinking. In the past I reached level 600, but now I am only level 1. I wonder if my rank is the same. If my rank skills are preserved, taking down that tyrant would be a piece of cake. The system kept popping up, access denied. To unlock, you must complete the lock challenge, reactivate the mission, or reach intermediate husband favorability. Alex thought gloomily, I have a feeling that if I could just get my weapons from my previous world. He reached out to tap the screen. Vault locked. Access denied at this time. Will expand when you reach the required level. The next second, Alex let out a weary sigh. Nothing. This is not a reward or a time to rest. What even is this? Next he scrolled through character list. Character list, I have not seen this section before. Is it because this is a world inside a novel? Information intro, Alexis Myers, male 23 years old, Duke of Brant. Palace handsome man, extraordinary beauty. Died by drinking a poison of his own creation. Special note, after death, his soul is wandering in another world. This left him bewildered. So, the soul of this body is lost in another world. Alex sat up, curious. So he went to another world after he died where, if he comes back, what happens to my soul? He tried to press a button. It would be great if I could see what is hidden behind those question marks. Could I also return to my original world? Then came the wife's information. Louise Shanman, Louise Myers, female, 24 years old, Duchess of Brant. Originally a young lady of the neighboring Duke Shaman's family, after marrying her husband, she became insecure about never having had a physical relationship with him. She yearns for a happy marriage and a child with her husband. He read it over and over. Louise Shanman, Louise Myers, 24, Duchess of Brant. Insecure about never having a physical relationship. She yearns for a child. Not even once. His body is perfectly normal, though. Alex crossed his arms in confusion. I have even checked for myself. The truth is, this body actually has an excess of mana. Mana is the fundamental energy source for casting magic. It facilitates the use of sorcery, and a large amount of mana is flowing through this body. However, this world denies the existence of magic as a delusion. Casting magic energy would be extremely difficult without knowing the concept of mana or how to use it. He looked at his hands, impressed. This is a form of pure mana that has not been used before. This person's body is not weak at all. Alex suddenly realized something. If he had just unleashed and controlled it, he would not have suffered such a crushing defeat by that tyrant. Everyone thought he was using mana instinctively, but why did he never manifest it outwardly? Following that thought, his finger tapped the system screen. Display info: Alexis Myers. Died by drinking his own poison. Special note, his soul is wandering in another world. He had mistaken his mana for a disease. He was always on guard, fearing mana would overflow from his body. So that means he finally found the reason. He could not sleep with her because he was afraid his mana would explode. Meanwhile, Louise was focused on eating. She brought a spoonful of food to her mouth. Louise was very satisfied. It is really delicious even when it is cold. She sighed helplessly. Before, I was so worried about my mother-in-law that I could not even taste it. I did not even know if it was going into my mouth or my nose. The next second, she stood up tiredly. Everyone has left. I guess I have to clean everything up myself again. Afterward, Louise carried a stack of dishes to wash. A while later, she stretched sluggishly. Finished. Cleaning and washing all the dishes alone is pure torture. Suddenly she fell into deep thought. It would be great if we had a chef or servants, but besides the money issue, that tyrant threatened to kill anyone who dared to help us. Scene change: outside the mansion. The sky was a deep blue. Louise enjoyed herself. The weather is so beautiful. Suddenly she saw the sheep in the front yard and wondered, we can't just kill and eat sheep every day. Is there any way to solve the food problem? A moment later, Louise had a new idea. Maybe I can buy food from the market. Thinking of this, she hurriedly grabbed her skirt and ran off. Back in her room, Louise looked around searching for something. To buy something, I need money first. What should I sell? We do not have any guests anyway, so it should be fine. She noticed a painting, something small and light to carry easily. Then she looked at the items on the shelf. Right, a vase and a candlestick should do. Louise silently appraised their value. They look quite expensive, so there should be plenty of money for food, right? With that, she quickly wrapped them in a cloth. Once finished, Louise left excitedly. All right, time to go. Suddenly she sensed something strange. Louise's entire body fell backward unexpectedly. As she fell, the items she had gathered in the bag also flew high into the air. They slowly fell back to their original positions. The next second they were back exactly as they were before. The room was silent, with only Louise lying unconscious on the floor, unknown to anyone. Meanwhile, Alex's hands were clenched tight. His whole body was brimming with mana. He was incredibly excited. It is extremely sensitive after being suppressed for so long. It is hard to believe the mana is boiling even while I am standing still. Thinking this, Alex felt a pang of guilt. At this level, I can understand why he was so careful, especially since he thought it was a disease. However, he was not resigned. But I can't suppress it forever. Furthermore, recalling earlier, the owner had cried and pleaded, we can't live in a house like this anymore. I will pay any price you want for this house. Just name a number. The man was shaking uncontrollably. Every time we try to take something out of the house, we collapse and faint. We called a doctor, but it was useless. The more he spoke, the more panicked he became. This is surely a devil's curse. If it continues, our life force will be drained dry and we will die. He kept blaming himself. I know it is strange for a seller to say this, but you should be careful too. Telling you this is my last shred of conscience. At the time, Alex just brushed it off. "Okay, I get it. We will be careful." Back in the present, he closed his eyes with determination. Let us see if this house is really haunted or not. I have to release my mana. His mind was highly focused. It is not that I believe in ghosts, but I have to check for sure. Alex tried to control the mana. I need to concentrate the mana running through my body, gather it around my heart, and form a circle. The process looked arduous. Slowly. Just a little more. His heart seemed to be enveloped by a flow of mana. Alex's face turned to one of shock as he felt something. The next second he breathed a sigh of relief. Even if only a little, I did it. Luckily, it is the same method I used in my previous life. The gathering of mana into a ring is called a circle, and it represents a tier of mana. Alex believed that the more circles one has, the more elemental magic skills one can use. Right now it is only the first circle, but I can upgrade it further. He tried to compose himself. My level is still the same. Just as I thought, mana is only energy, but at least all the passive skills have been activated. Saying this, a sinister smile played on his face. Well then, time to go find that ghost. The outside of the mansion looked unusually quiet. A wooden door was locked tight. Through it, a blue orb was radiating energy. Alex cried out in excitement, "Found it!" He opened the door and went out. It is real. I clearly feel a soul in the first floor drawing room. It is still daytime. I should lure it outside so no one in the house sees it. A strange voice echoed. Every time we try to take something out of the house, we collapse and faint. Alex speculated, if it is a ghost obsessed with the household items. He went to the room from earlier. I just need to move a few pieces of furniture to lure it out. As soon as he entered, Alex saw Louise unconscious on the floor. His face turned shocked and panicked. Alex tried to shake her, calling out, "Louise, wake up." Then he put his hand to her nose to check for breath. Seeing that Louise did not react, he picked her up and carried her out of the room. Alex carried her in a princess-style hold as he walked. Alex tried to leave quickly. Luckily her body is fine. No wait. How can a normal person be this light? He took her to Eloy's room. It seems the others in the house are also asleep. Considering they can't wake up, this must be that ghost's doing. He gently stroked Louisa's cheek to reassure her. Then Alex walked out of the room with a fierce aura. He tried to sense it. It is moving. It is getting closer. Alex covered his nose against the black smoke. Did this smoke make them fall into a deep sleep and faint? I should avoid inhaling it as much as possible. Within that limited vision, he focused on manifesting his mana. The moment Alex's hand clenched was the moment the creature was trapped. Got you. The system announced, "Congratulations. You have discovered a being from the afterlife. Challenge title restoration mission has been unlocked. Complete the mission to regain your abilities as a necromancer." This surprised him. Title restoration necromancer, that was the profession I had in the system in my previous life. Alex could not believe it. When they said there were ghosts, I had a hunch this would happen. I did not expect the system window to activate and give a mission like this. At the same time, a dog appeared. Here it is. It finally showed up. Its expression was quite aggressive toward everything around it. Kept shouting, you can see me." Alex was a bit startled. I have not even bound it yet, but I can hear this ghost's voice in my head. Is it because the mana connects us? He questioned. Are you the one making everyone sleep? Wake them up now. It immediately resisted. Let me go. Alex's gaze grew even sharper. Don't tell me they won't wake up again. Gideon turned his head away and replied arrogantly, they won't die, but humans who have inhaled my smoke find it very hard to wake up. Alex observed the reaction and silently appraised it. It is not a monster, but it is capable of taking down humans. It looks like just an ordinary ghost. Could there be a hidden story behind it? He continued reading the system panel. Emergency mission. Subdue the ghost Gideon as a sole familiar. Remaining time 10 minutes. Gideon. That must be its name. It screamed angrily, I must protect this house until my master returns. Get out now, this is my master's house. Alex slowly approached. A ghost capable of affecting the living. It is not a monster or a magic beast. Its appearance in a house like this certainly is not natural. He suspected, is this really working out this conveniently for me? And as for it waiting for its master. Could it be? The system displayed, subdue the ghost Gideon as a soul familiar and take the first step on the path to becoming a soul summoner. Alex made another deduction. It feels like it is pushing me toward the path of a soul summoner again. Is this a creature intentionally created by the system? You are not an ordinary ghost, are you? You said you are waiting for your master, then tell me your story. Gideon was extremely fierce. My story, I am waiting for my master. It recounted sadly. One day, I woke up after a nap in a warm place, and everyone had disappeared. Gideon's voice became happy. But I still remember my master telling me to look after the house. Then came the warning, I must protect the house until my master returns. I won't let anyone take anything. Alex rubbed his chin in understanding. I see. It seems its memories are fragmented. Gideon sulked, preparing to attack. You are planning to destroy this house too, are not you? Taste my smoke. The situation happened so suddenly that Alex only had time to cover his face with his hand. He tried not to inhale the gas. The system announced, auto skill resistance has been activated. Mana consumed. He flashed a cunning smile. Is this one of the passive skills that activated upon completing the circle? How convenient. Seeing this, Gideon was shocked. What? Why are you still fine after breathing my smoke? He judged with an air of superiority. Is this how you drive them out of the house? From now on, this is my house. Surrender. It did not listen and interrupted. What? My master said he would definitely return. Alex kept lecturing and stop harassing other people. As he said this, Gideon transformed into a beast and growled several times. His claws became sharper and larger. He looked like a full-grown white wolf as he lunged at Alex. Gideon's claws slowly lifted. He growled angrily, if you do not leave this house immediately, I will destroy everything. Saying so, he grew even larger. The system reminded, warning. Gideon has transformed into his original form. Combat power has doubled. Alex was not afraid. If that is the case, there is no other way. Gideon opened his mouth wide and lunged at him. Alex threw a punch straight into his snout. Then with one hand, he grabbed a tuft of fur on Gideon's neck. His foot also kicked at its legs. Gideon's massive body was thrown down just like that. Alex summoned a mana circle in the palm of his hand. He spoke softly and persuasively, I know you are sad, but calm down. Why do not you forget the one who won't return and take a new master? I can't miss the chance to complete this mission. I must subdue him as a soul familiar. Gideon stubbornly would not let go. Master will never abandon me. Alex looked at it calculatingly. Since time is running out, I have to finish this quickly. He devised a plan. It is best if I stop it from moving freely. After that, Alex actually suppressed it. He walked slowly to Gideon's side. You are wondering why I was not enchanted by your smoke, right? He growled, refusing to submit. He explained while healing it, it is because I am your new master. For this wound, tier 1 magic is enough. Gideon tried to deny it. In this world, I have only one master. Alex's hands were still busy healing him. He advised earnestly, I am your new master. That is why I can talk to you and heal your wounds. I moved in here to find you. Gideon shook his head, refusing to accept it. Impossible. My master. He cut it off. No, I am your new master. I already know your name. Alex offered a greeting. Nice to meet you, Gideon. This left it stunned. How do you know my name? The system announced, Gideon has fallen into a state of confusion and temporarily lost his will to fight. To accept Gideon as your soul familiar, use the command. Warning, in 10 seconds, Gideon's fighting spirit will return. Alex assessed the situation. I do not have high expectations even if it is a ghost. Warning, 10 seconds. Fighting spirit will return. The power to make others fall asleep. This is truly an unexpected harvest. Finally, he decided to subdue it. Become my soul familiar. A moment later, Gideon had returned to a docile appearance. The system displayed soul familiar recruited successfully. Number of soul familiars owned, 1 per 1. Alex found it strange. All the smoke has disappeared. Why has not everyone woken up yet? Gideon followed behind and explained, it is just because they want to sleep. My smoke does not contain toxic or addictive ingredients. He nodded in agreement. I see. I will observe further. Suddenly Alex's whole body froze. His face turned bright red. Louise was sleeping soundly on the bed, her clothes a bit loose. Witnessing this scene, Alex felt embarrassed. Wait, is it okay for me to be here? He covered her with a blanket and told himself, looking at them sleep is a bit strange. They must have been under a lot of pressure and fatigue until now. Better not to disturb them. Once finished, Alex turned and left. The room gradually grew dark. Until now, Louise was still sleeping peacefully on the bed. She suddenly startled awake. Louise turned over and thought to herself, I was going to go buy things. Why did I fall asleep? She rubbed her head against her arm lazily. Maybe I will sleep a bit more. Right then Loy flung the door open and called out, Sister-in-law, wake up. Seeing this, Louise sat up dreamily. Eloy, how long have I been sleeping? I feel refreshed but also a bit restless, like sleeping through an exam day. The girl looked reproachful. Are you awake? Why did you sleep so long? It is already dinner time. These words woke her up completely. Dinner? I have been sleeping all day. Louise got out of bed in confusion. Why did I sleep so long? Eloy grumbled. I took a nap and it is already past noon. Let us go eat quickly. Everything is ready. Even now, she was bewildered. That is strange, I do not remember clearly. I am sure I packed the candlestick and the vase. Louise walked down the stairs step by step. She saw the room door open. That is, the 2 items from this morning were still there. The things I intended to take are still there. Did I just imagine it because I was too tired? Louise was truly helpless with herself. Alex's mother chided her annoyedly, finally awake. Did you sleep well? She smiled awkwardly and replied, yes, I slept very well. The woman turned away in irritation. It is all your fault. Now the head of the Brandt house is in the kitchen preparing the meal. Louise exclaimed in surprise, what, Alex? She rushed into the kitchen. I wonder what she meant by everything is ready. Is Alex cooking dinner? As she reached the door, Louise could not help but exclaim, it smells so good. She was a bit curious as the sister was also there. What is Eloy doing? Well, since I said I would not do it, she did not have much choice. At that moment her eyes met Alex's. Louise's heart started racing again. Looking at this handsome face, I feel completely awake. He asked kindly, you are awake. Are you feeling better? Alex expressed seriously, you slept for so long that I was very worried. Hearing that, Louise jumped in. I am fine now. I was just a little tired. She made an excuse, maybe the soft bed made me sleep longer. Alex did not blame Louise at all. I understand. You must be hungry. We should eat. Afterward, the two moved to the dining table. A lavish meal was ready. Louise kept admiring it. Oh my, who made all of this? Eloy propped her chin up boastfully. It was me, I boiled the eggs, sliced the tomatoes and even brought the plates. Alex took care of the rest. Louise looked happily at her husband. You must have put in a lot of effort. Alex, how did you make all these dishes? Alex explained, I watched someone make them from behind a long time ago and tried to follow. I do not know if it tastes good. She smiled flatteringly. It looks delicious, I will eat well. Thank you, Alex. This action made Alex blush in embarrassment. Then Louise did not forget to praise the sister. Eloy, you worked hard too. Internally, she found it strange. Why would the proud daughter of a duke agree to help prepare? This is truly unheard of. Eloy gave a sinister smile. You feel very grateful, do not you? Then keep making delicious food for me. Louise was speechless. Eloy would not help without a reason. How cute. Then Alex's mother also came to join the meal. Everyone began their dinner. Louise was looking forward to receiving such sincerity. She brought a piece of shrimp to her mouth. Now I wonder how it tastes. Then she ate the whole thing without hesitation. Alex's mother and Eloy looked at each other in amazement. It is super delicious, Alex, you really have a talent. Louise could not stop herself from marveling. Goodness, my husband even has this skill. It seems he is quite a talented cook. She flashed a happy smile. It is truly delicious. I am going to eat a lot, Alex. Alex, still feeling bashful, replied, I am glad you like it. The four of them then enjoyed dinner in a cheerful atmosphere. Only Alex remained pensive, lost in thought. Suddenly something startled him. The system announced, congratulations, favorability has increased by 1. Alex was stunned and began to speculate favorability increased, but why? Don't tell me it is just because I made dinner. He recalled Louisa's smiling face. It was just a simple dish, yet favorability rose like that. He felt a surge of secret pride. It looks like that cooking certification I earned from a special quest in my past life is actually useful. Alex eyed her calculatingly. I feel uncomfortable gaining favorability from another man's wife, so I intended to ignore the leveling up. But if I cook dinner 10 more times, will favorability increase by 10? However, a second later he tried to brainstorm, besides pasta, what other delicious dishes can I make? A while later they moved on to enjoying tea. Alex was still deep in thought. Louise looked again at the two objects she had touched that morning. Those are the things I tried to sell, right? Or was it just a dream? She felt gloomy and dejected. Nothing ever happens in this place, so why did they say it is haunted? She wondered inwardly. The candles went out and I fell into such a deep sleep. Could that really have been a ghost's interference? Alex's mother chimed in, exactly, this place is surprisingly good. Eloy, however, was terrified. No, do not mention ghosts. If you talk about them for no reason, they might actually appear. Louise turned to ask Alex, has anything strange happened to you? It would be great if there are no ghosts, but I am worried about what they said that the previous owners moved out too. He offered his perspective. Since nothing has happened yet, maybe everything will be fine. She relaxed a bit. That is good then. Nothing left to worry about. As she finished, Alex's expression turned dark. He spoke to reassure them, or perhaps the spirit has accepted us as the masters of the house, so do not worry too much. Louise replied shyly, I understand. She thought he looked strangely certain. I will just worry about it later if a real ghost actually shows up. Later the room grew dark. Alex sat at the desk reviewing documents. He let out a long sigh. Yeah, today was a long day. Catching sheep in the morning, recruiting Gideon in the afternoon, and preparing a meal while the whole family was asleep in the evening. Well, Gideon has accepted a new master, so there is no need to worry anymore. Job skills have opened, but now my level has dropped to 1, and all my original spirit beasts are gone. The system displayed class, Necromancer LV.1, spirit beasts owned, 1 per 1. Skills related to the class have also become useless. To increase the number of spirit beasts, I need to level up or accept special missions. Then Alex called out Gideon. It immediately appeared and answered, Master, did you call for me? He leaned down to speak with it. Alex reminded it softly, others can't hear you. Gideon replied obediently, I understand. He thought to himself, it has now become an assistant following me, but I should give it a warning just in case. As Alex patted its head, Gideon wagged its tail happily. Be careful not to run into the family later. Suddenly Alex thought of something. Louisa's voice echoed in his mind. History books always talk about a revolution. No, a hero appearing at times like these. The system reminded him, warning, you need to increase favorability to level up. Level up to defeat the tyrant and subdue the evil forces. Alex began to sense it. It feels like the whole world is urging me to defeat evil and restore peace. But to increase my level. He sat wearily in his chair. Why do I have to do the troublesome job of saving the world twice? Alex scratched his head, thinking furthermore. The next second he opened the system panel to check. It displayed Level 1 Favorability 0 Trust 2. Alex was filled with helplessness. Why, out of everything, does it have to be favorability that is needed to level up? Scene change. The next morning Louise was happily taking a walk. Alex's mother commented irritably, normally, should not sheep be waddling? Louise smiled and offered her opinion, I think their wool is so thick it looks like they are about to roll. She cheerfully suggested, so, do you want to go shear the sheep with me? The woman waved her hand dismissively, what, are you telling me to do that back-breaking labor? Louise tried to plead, it is not that tiring once you start. I heard it helps clear the mind and is quite relaxing. Still she refused. I feel like my whole body would ache. Louise clasped her hands. A little exercise is good for your health. Alex's mother replied bluntly, if it is so good, you do it. I am going inside. Any longer out here and my skin will burn crisp. Seeing that, Louise had no choice. Yes, go ahead, mother. She thought, just as expected, she refused immediately, without any hesitation. A while later, she went back to the warehouse to look for something. Louise tiredly wiped the sweat from her forehead. The next second she was happy to have found it. Found it, this should be usable, right? Even though it is covered in dust from disuse, all the necessary tools are ready. Louise was filled with determination. I need to do something useful. Although Alex managed to find us a house somehow, living expenses are another matter. We need a stable source of income. She encouraged herself, all right, let us just try. If it is too hard, I will ask for help. Louisa's target was a sheep. This one seemed the slowest and gentlest. With a sly look, Louise approached. I won't hurt you, just stand still for a bit, okay? I won't hurt you. I said it would not hurt, right? The tool in her hand flashed as it touched the wool. A moment later, Louise beamed. Shearing is easier than I thought. Maybe I have a knack for this. She worked diligently, shearing the sheep one by one. It was not until late afternoon that Louise stretched and cried out, finished. She was extremely satisfied with the result. Just one sheep and the amount of wool is quite a lot. This should be enough. Louise tried to drag the sack inside. I remember there is a cart in the warehouse. At that moment, she caught Alex coming down from the upper floor. Louise, are you going somewhere, Alex? She cheerfully informed him, yes, I am taking the wool to the market to sell. Do you want to come along? Alex was stunned for a moment. Well, did you shear it yourself? She explained, just one to see if I can sell it. He leaned down to inspect it. I see. All right, let us go together. Are you planning to go now? Louise was grateful. Yes, thank you, Alex. Alex easily swung the sack onto his shoulder without any sign of strain. Louise walked beside him, silently admiring. It is quite heavy, yet Alex carries it easily with one hand. Wait, does this count as a date with Alex? Suddenly a voice rang out. To the market? Are you two going to the market? Eloy looked down from the upper floor and questioned, what, are you two going somewhere? Louise showed an annoyed face. What now? Is she planning to follow? No, stay inside, don't interfere with a couple's date. She approached and begged, let me go too, I want to go somewhere crowded. It is so boring here. Please. She thought helplessly, how do I turn her down? The next second, Louise tried a psychological tactic. Fine, but the market here is very different from the capitals. Are you okay with that? The streets and goods are quite different. Eloy gasped, what really? Louise thought mischievously, yes, go home and wait, you third wheel. She was disappointed. It is that different, Louise confirmed with a smile, exactly. Wait for us at home, okay? She thought, success, it will just be me and Alex. Then she and Alex left together, leaving Eloy to watch them go. She suddenly cut in between the two of them and decided, actually I am coming, staying home alone is too boring. This made Louise want to cry. Damn it. Scene changed to the market. People were passing by in crowds. She walked dejectedly. My date. Who knows when I will get another chance. Eloy was completely bewildered. Sister-in-law, why are the stalls laid out on the street here? She complained sadly, it is completely different from the capital's market. How boring. Louise was irritated but still soothed her. That is why I told you beforehand. Next time just stay home and rest. Then she glanced to her side. Alex was still diligently carrying the sack of wool, following them. She silently appraised him, quiet and calm. He is completely different from Eloy. Anyway, it has been a long time since I walked the streets. Everything looks so different. Louise observed life around her. People's appearances and expressions did not look good. Her face became somber. The citizens are suffering greatly under the tyrant's rule. Just then Alex called out, I found a shop. Let us sell the wool there. Outside the shop was a sign with a sheep on it. Alex stepped inside and asked, is anyone in? The shopkeeper scratched his head and welcomed them, welcome. He was startled and anxious when he saw the people before him. I did not expect nobles to come to this shabby place. Alex only replied softly, may I ask, can we sell wool here? The shopkeeper nodded. Of course. Let me see the wool. He inspected it and gave a price. The quality is quite good. I can pay you about 10 gold coins. Louisa's voice rang out, what, 10 gold coins? She cheerfully stepped forward to negotiate. Can you increase it to 15 gold coins? You said the quality is good, and we might continue selling here in the future. The shopkeeper was flustered. More, 10 gold coins is already a very good price. If you are short on money, why not sell something else? Hearing that, she repeated in wonder, something else. He was staring intently at something on Louise. What is this? What is he looking so closely at? She looked down and stroked her hair. My hair. Louise silently speculated, he probably likes this too. However, before she could say anything, Alex intervened. No. Absolutely not. His face darkened as he warned, we came to sell wool, not hair. Louise recalled the past when everyone used to praise her, my lady, Your hair is still so beautiful today. When the light hits it, it sparkles like an aura. Indeed, it always leaves me in awe. Back then, she had been happy and grateful. Such lovely compliments, thank you everyone. One person stepped close and asked, so, regarding that, could I have a bit of your hair? I think it would be perfect if sewn onto my bed curtains. Back in the present, Louise stroked her hair and thought, it seems he wants it too. Really is beautiful. My hair has always been admired by many, some even dared to ask to buy it. The next second she felt a chill. Using human hair as decoration. Is not that a bit creepy? Louisa's eyes lowered. In the past, I would definitely have refused, but since she offered 300 gold coins, it was hard to resist the temptation. She made a decision. Maybe I should hear him out more, but once again Alex stopped her. No. You are not allowed. He repeated incessantly, we are here to sell wool, not hair. The shopkeeper cowered at this. Yes, I am sorry. I was rude. Suddenly Eloy spoke up, why not? She reasoned, he is offering 300 gold coins, what is wrong with cutting a little to sell? We could buy something delicious with that money. Eloy touched Louisa's hair persuasively. Hair grows back, does not it? The shopkeeper chimed in, exactly, you are making a wise choice. However, just a little bit might not be enough. Before he could finish, Alex interrupted, I said we are not selling it. His voice was so loud it made her jump in fear. Alex turned and questioned, selling Louisa's things to buy what? Speak clearly. Eloy stammered, I mean, about the hair. Hearing that, he frowned even more. Even if it were your hair, would you say that? Don't talk nonsense. Finding herself losing the argument, she hid behind Louise, who was stunned. The atmosphere is so tense. Feels terrifying. She hurried to wave her hands to calm him. Wait, Alex, do not lose your temper. To be honest, I think so too. 300 gold coins is not a small amount and hair can grow back. This made him freeze. Don't joke. Are you really planning to sell your hair? Louise took his hand and explained, I do not want you to have to worry about all the living expenses. I just want to help a little, Alex. That is right, it is just selling some hair. It is not an issue and won't cause any big trouble. Yet Alex still did not allow it. No. That is not necessary. Selling wool is up to you, but selling hair is a different matter. Louise was about to plead, Alex, but he cut in, even if things become harder than they are now. Alex blushed with embarrassment. I do not want to be a man so pathetic that he has to sell his wife's hair. The words took Louise by surprise. It seemed this matter was something Alex could not accept. She called out emotionally, Alex. The shopkeeper stood crying in the corner. You too, please. Not in my shop. Afterward, Alex and the two others left. The system announced, congratulations, favorability level +1. He found it hard to understand. Favorability level increased, why? Alex asked himself, I did not do anything this time, so why? Is it because I can earn money, or because I said I did not want to be pathetic? Finally, he decided to ask the system for a basic explanation of favorability levels. It stated, what is favorability level? Your wife's favorability level will make you stronger. When affection increases or when you make a request to Louise, you will unlock special skills, enhance your wife's affection and destroy the dark forces. Alex was speechless. Naturally, that explanation was not very helpful. He made a decision, I will think about it more carefully when I get home. Then he called out to Louise and Eloy, for now let us head back. Suddenly, his footsteps faltered for a moment. Alex called out Louise. She immediately replied, yes. His hand clenched with determination. To be honest, I was very surprised. I did not expect her to think our situation was so serious that she would even think of selling her hair for money. Alex's pride as a man would not allow it. I am not sick or injured. I can't let that happen. Can you make it back on your own? I have to go to the messenger for a bit. Louise was a bit curious. The messenger, where are you going? Alex stated his destination plainly, to Leidden. Eloy was astonished. Leidden, she also exclaimed, you are going to Leidden. Louise asked worriedly, are you sure you will be okay going there alone? Alex found it strange. Is something happening there? She hesitated. I am just worried you will run into trouble or something. He was puzzled. Trouble. Alex put his hand to his chin, thinking. Now that I think about it, something similar happened once, but if I say it, she will only worry more. The next second he lied. I have been there before. Do not worry. Louise sighed. But since you are already going out, how about we? Eloy's loud voice interrupted. No, I do not want to go there. She was red with anger. What if I run into someone I know right now? I am wearing clothes that went out of style ages ago. Louise understood the girl's distress. After all, nobles frequently visited Leidden, so she just did not want anyone to see her in this state. Leidden was one of the most bustling and luxurious cities in the Rillet Empire. All the best artisans opened shops there, and the nobles who dominated high society were frequent visitors. Those nobles often showed off exquisite jewelry, stylish clothes, and glamorous hairstyles. Her expression soured. We are still wearing the few sets of clothes we managed to bring when we were kicked out. Finally, Louise took Eloy back. Then I will stay with Eloy. Go carefully, Alex. He nodded firmly. I will be careful. Alex stood watching the two of them walk away. His gaze focused even more on Louise's figure. He swallowed hard, thinking about how she had intended to cut off that beautiful hair for money. Alex's face showed complicated emotions. A strange feeling in my chest. It must just be my responsibility as the breadwinner. Yes, that is it. He set a goal. That is right, this time I will ensure no one worries about money anymore. Gideon. It immediately appeared. You called me, master, he gave an order. Keep an eye on my family. Don't let them discover you. They both stand out too much. I am worried something might happen to them. Back at the mansion, Louise was sitting drinking tea. She felt uneasy. It is almost midnight. When will Alex be back? He should have been home long ago. Did something happen? Thoughts kept racing through her mind. But I wonder if that messenger has any valuable secrets to sell. I wonder what genre of books he reads. I am overthinking. Maybe I should go out for some fresh air. Louise went outside to wait for him. Alex's words from earlier kept repeating in her head. His voice echoed back, even if things get worse. Back then, Alex had expressed, I do not want to be a man so pathetic that he has to sell his wife's hair. Louise was deeply moved. I said I would sell it, but if he had not stopped me, I probably would have felt heartbroken. I do not care if he comes back empty-handed. I just hope Alex comes home soon. Suddenly, a sound caught her attention. A carriage was approaching, the sound of wheels. The driver was Alex. He rode back proudly. Alex. Hearing the call, he looked down. Louise was even more astonished. Alex. The two stood facing each other in the cold night. Alex questioned in a cold voice, Louise, why are you out here? She scratched her cheek shyly. I am sorry. I just wanted to get some fresh air. I was wondering when you would be back. Alex felt a bit guilty. I am sorry, my trip was delayed a bit. I thought you were already asleep. She did not mind. It is okay. I was just worried about you. Then Louise asked curiously, but where did that carriage come from? He confessed honestly, everyone looked uncomfortable, so I bought one. I thought it would be difficult to walk to the passenger station every time. This left her amazed. Did your trip to Leidden go smoothly? That carriage. It looks no less expensive than the one we used at the Duke's estate. If he really bought it, he must have paid a fortune. Alex dodged the question. Do you want to step inside and take a look? Louise happily accepted. In the carriage, yes, it seems everything went smoothly, so why does he look so stiff? Then Alex opened the door for her to step up. Louise stood before the door, stunned. Inside were several treasure chests glittering brightly. This time her jaw dropped in shock. This whole place is full of gold coins. Louise's voice could not hide her joy. Don't tell me all these chests piled up here are full of gold coins. Alex nodded nonchalantly. That is right. Her heart raced. We lived comfortably before the Duke's family fell, but this is the first time I have seen a mountain of gold like this. Suddenly he promised in a serious tone, as long as I am here, I will make sure you never have to worry about money again. He pointed to the chests and commanded, use them as you wish. The next morning sunlight streamed through the window. Alex's mother directed, here, put it here. She rubbed her chin with satisfaction. Now this place looks fit for the living, does not it, Eloy? She happily confirmed. Yes, it is small compared to our old home, but it is still livable. As they finished, the two shared a knowing look. At noon, the mansion became bustling. Louise walked downstairs in bewilderment. I was shocked when Alex brought home a carriage full of gold, but this. Eloy and her mother-in-law had invited retailers and fashion shop owners over, and bought out their entire catalogs. Every day, all sorts of luxury goods poured into the mansion. She thought with a headache I managed to buy a new dress too, but I was kicked out of the Duke's mansion with nothing, and I desperately needed clothes and shoes. Not only that, Alex also hired a talented chef and had them open a restaurant near the villa. Because of the tyrant's threats, they could not hire private servants. Thinking of this, Louise sighed in relief. It is such a relief that I do not have to cook anymore. Then she peeked her head through the wooden door. Just as Alex was walking toward the spot, Louise called out joyfully, "Alex." Hearing the call, he looked up, startled. She happily informed him, "The meal we ordered from the restaurant was just delivered." Then she invited him, "Let us go together, Alex." Alex blushed with embarrassment. "Thank you, my lady." He was still thinking about it. Louise is probably only smiling because she thinks I am her husband. If she found out I am not the real Alex. Alex looked at her back. This is just a bit of guilt. Earning this much money is just taking on the responsibility of the one who left. He admitted a little, "I did not intend to bring back so much gold." Seeing his strange expression, Louise asked, "What is wrong, Alex?" He waved it off. "It is nothing. Let us go." She chatted animatedly again. Today's menu includes grilled beef tenderloin, jarred bow broth, and red grape jelly. He was curious. Louise has looked very satisfied since I solved our problems, but why has not her favorability increased? Even when I sold knowledge through an information broker to receive a large sum of money, or when I stimulated the local economy by spending money like water. Eloy had been praising this menu all day. Ironically, it was not his favorability level that rose, but a completely different stat that hit the roof. The system announced, "Congratulations, your reputation has increased by 3 points for stimulating the local economy." Reputation 157. Alex sighed. "I did not intend to do that to increase favorability, but I thought it would at least go up a little. After all, can't favorability be bought with money?" Suddenly something made him pause. The system displayed female 24 years old, Duchess of Brant. Originally from the neighboring Shannon Duke's family. After an arranged marriage, she is worried because she has not had a relationship with her husband. She yearns for a happy marriage and a child with her husband. This is. After reading, Alex felt guilty. I will pretend I did not see anything. A while later, he had bathed and was clean. Alex racked his brain for a solution. Favorability is still at level 2. Is there any way to increase this? He flopped onto the bed in exhaustion. I do not think I can increase it, but since the points are going up, I can't stop thinking about it. His expression soured. My head. It must be because my thoughts are in a mess. Finally, the room returned to silence. In a dream, a scolding voice rang out, "You useless brat." Alex wondered, "Useless brat?" I just closed my eyes for a moment. Where is this? At that moment, a blinding light appeared. In front of him sat a young boy. That back. It looked familiar. As Alex approached, he saw the boy sobbing uncontrollably. That face looked exactly like his own. Suddenly, Alex clutched his chest in panic. A sharp pain shot through his back. He tried to endure the pain. This feeling was as if he were sharing someone else's emotions. Finally, he speculated, is that the real Alex as a child? Alex clutched his head in discomfort. Are Alexis's memories being synchronized with mine? My head feels like it is going to split in two. The scene shifted to a dark room. Brant appeared, raising a fist high, ready to strike the young Alex. Alex's entire body trembled non-stop with fear. The man shouted reproaches again. "Say it again, why can't you speak normally?" The boy could only cry. "Every month, father would come here once to check my study progress and see if my stuttering had improved." Brant's words grew increasingly harsh. "You should not even exist in this world." He felt ashamed. "It is a disgrace that a defective creature like you bears our family name." Those words pierced Alex's heart. I am not welcome anywhere." He had been manipulated into thinking, as his father said, it would be better if I did not exist. The room suddenly became quiet. Alex stepped toward the door. He peeked inside to see something. Just as Alex was about to knock, a shout rang out, How could you give birth to a son like that?" Brant and his wife were arguing. "Do you expect that incompetent brat to become the heir? You are too obsessed with your vulgar songs. Am I the only one who gave birth to him? It is your fault for fooling around everywhere." Witnessing this, he hated himself even more. Even their arguments were because of him. The Alex of that time fell into utter despair. The next day, he and Brant sat at the dining table. Alex's heart raced. Why did father invite me to the table now? Maybe he wants to talk about the book I read yesterday. However, the man opened his mouth only to criticize. Your eating manners are still terrible. I told you not to let the utensils clatter against each other. The boy hurriedly apologized. I am sorry. Brant scoffed, you useless fool. He began to explain, Alex, between my plate and yours one is poisoned. Alex listened, trembling all over. I am ashamed to call such an ignorant person my only heir. Aren't you tired of this too? One of us must die for this misery to end. He thought to himself, I do not want to die, father. Please wait, I am trying my best. I will become a good son. But in the next second, Alex vomited blood. He tried to endure it. My throat feels like it is on fire. It hurts so much. No, this violates dining etiquette. I will get scolded again. Then, Alex collapsed onto the floor in a puddle of syrup. He crawled forward shiveringly, hoping for salvation. Brant, sitting coldly above him, declared, in the next life, be reborn as someone better. Back in the present, Alex woke up. He looked at the window, calculating. Judging by the bright sunlight, I must have slept quite a while. No wonder. Felt like a long dream. I did not expect to sleep this long. At that moment, his body throbbed with pain. What is this on my back? Do not tell me. Alex took off his shirt and stood before the mirror. On his back were a series of wounds deeply scarred into the flesh. He understood then. These are wounds I have never seen before. It was not just a dream. These are real memories engraved on Alex's body. Alex felt resentful on his behalf. It is unbelievable that he lived with these scars and that contempt on his back. Suddenly, a knock on the door made him pause. Alex quickly put his shirt back on. Come in. Hearing his voice, Louise entered cheerfully. She asked kindly, did you sleep well? You woke up later than usual today. Louise laughed softly. You are not the type to oversleep. Did something happen? This atmosphere made Alex feel bashful. He stammered, I guess I am just a bit tired. Why am I like this? This is not even the first time I have met her. Alex felt more at ease. After that dark and painful dream, it felt like a bright ray of sunshine had shone down. Louise asked caringly, Alex, do you feel better now? He reassured her, yes, I slept very well, so I am refreshed. But why are you here? Suddenly she remembered, Eloy bought some new clothes and wants to go out. Since we have a carriage now, we plan to go to a busier and larger district than last time. Louise suggested, do you want to come with us? If you are tired, it is okay. Alex hurriedly denied it. Don't worry, I will get ready and be down right away. Hearing this, she was overjoyed. Wonderful, thank you, Alex. I will go tell Eloy and wait for you. With that, Louise turned and left. Her presence had made him happier. Outside, the warm sunlight shone down. People were chatting busily with each other. Louise remarked, it is really cold. Maybe because we just moved north. In her head, she appraised, I am not even a native northerner from Grand Galley, but it is much colder here than in the capital. Eloy looked around and agreed, you are right. Even the atmosphere feels a bit harsh. Louise felt even more sympathetic. These days, there is almost nowhere in the empire that is not barren. People are so hungry they even dig up wild flowers by the roadside to sell. Her gaze turned somber. I wonder if we can hear any news from the capital or the palace. Suddenly Louise glanced to her side. Back at the Duke's manor, I learned many things whether I wanted to or not, but now I am completely isolated from society. She was curious. I wonder if they have found Prince Rydite yet. Alex had only exchanged information a short while ago. Perhaps it was just a vain hope. Suddenly Eloy cried out, Sister, that hat over there is so cute. Louise smiled and chimed in, you are right, that hat would suit you perfectly. The girl wheedled, let us go inside and take a look, sister. We are rich now, after all. She reluctantly agreed, all right. What about you, Alex? He nodded obligingly. I do not mind. That is why we are out here. Seeing this, Louise sighed in relief and went inside with Eloy. Suddenly, her footsteps stopped. 3 men stood blocking their way. Look who it is. They laughed and joked with each other. Suddenly, the blonde man noticed something. He looked toward Alex and Louise. Isn't that Alexis? Marcel quickly turned his head. What? Alexis? Garrison also looked over. That stuttering fellow, Alexis. They hatched a wicked plan. Looking at the lady beside him, it must be him. still as beautiful as ever. It is hard not to be jealous. What is so good about him? He is just a stuttering idiot. Finally, 3 pairs of eyes met in a silent understanding. Marcel stepped forward and stopped. He called out loudly, "Look who it is." Marcel teased, "I was wondering where the Grand Duke's family had disappeared to. Turns out you are in this luxurious place." Louise saw them and whispered in disgust, "What on earth are these bastards doing here?" The blue-haired one was Count Garrison Osborne. The blonde was Marquis Damien Wells. Finally, the red-haired one was Marquis Marcel Howard. These 3 were very famous figures in high society. In stark contrast to Alex, who was quiet in social circles, they were notorious troublemakers obsessed with trends, fashion, and gossip. She looked disgusted. Especially their wives. Each of them is basically a ruler of the high society gossip circles. Louise ignored them and said, "Let us go, Alex. Getting involved will only cause trouble." But Marcel would not let them pass easily. "Oh my, leaving just like that is very impolite." He pressed close to her threateningly. "Aren't you happy to see us? I am truly curious about the Duke's family situation." Louise stepped back in revulsion. "Good heavens, what is that smell? Does he bathe in perfume?" Then he mocked Alexis, "Everything at the social club has become so dull without you." Louise was filled with ill-concealed hatred. They were the ones who had forced Alex there, yet they spoke as if they were close. What they actually meant was that they missed having someone to ridicule and humiliate. She turned away sarcastically. "You all ran over to greet us. You must have a lot of free time." Louise worried silently, "I do not want to see my husband bow his head again. I will stand up and handle their bullying myself." However, when she looked at Alex, she was surprised. Alex is not afraid of them. The system announced, "Characters unlocked." He speculated, "It seems meeting in person unlocks the character list. Let us see what kind of people they are." It introduced the information: Marcel Howard, male, 26 years old. Runs Howard Textiles. The largest textile factory, meaning the actual owner is his younger brother, Leidden Howard, while Marcel acts as a patron and secret power broker. The sponsors of the textile factories formed an alliance called the Holden Textile Federation. The Holden Textile Federation monopolizes the entire distribution of textiles in the empire. However, due to unfair collusion, they are harshly criticized by the public. They maintained a good relationship with the tyrant by voluntarily paying high taxes. Alex commented, "So the tyrant ignored their corruption because they paid enough tribute." Thinking this, he sighed. He has no combat power. So what makes him so confident to pick a fight? Strength, none. Marcel continued to mock, "What would you do without your wife?" Alexis Damien agreed, "You always get lucky with women, do not you?" Garrison chimed in, "So, what is your secret for keeping your wife by your side all this time?" He flashed a sly smile. "If she runs away, I can give her a position as a maid." Hearing this, Louise was furious. "What did you just say?" Beside her, Eloy was trembling non-stop. The girl could not help but explode. "You filthy bastards, get lost and do not talk to us. Who do you think you are talking down to? You idiots do not even know the boundary between what should be said and what should not." Louise, standing beside her, could not help but marvel, the crazy flower of high society. Even with a brother who was mocked by everyone, Eloy, with her vibrant fashion sense and social personality, along with Princess Annabelle, was one of the 2 top figures of teenage high society. They might have heard rumors, but this was the first time they met in person. Though his arm shook, Garrison still spoke boldly, "A pity. I still have business with your brother. Isn't the Duke's daughter the one who hates Alexis the most?" Eloy looked at him with contempt. "Did I ever say I liked my brother? I will mock him if I feel like it, so you old geezer, beat it." Louise could only turn away and comment, "Eloy seems to be in a bad mood." She assessed the situation. She felt a bit better after leaving the house, but she is still going through a turbulent puberty. Even so, Louise was well aware of their status now. But those people are all grown men and high-ranking nobles. Now we are just commoners. In both status and power, we cannot win. She held out her hand to block Eloy, deciding, no matter how satisfying Eloy's insults are, I can't just laugh along. Louise frowned. For years, the despicable nobles of high society had constantly mocked and tormented her and her husband. The noblewomen around them started whispering busily. Julia used her fan to cover her mouth and asked suggestively, "By the way, Duchess, I am truly curious about one thing. How is your family planning progressing?" Hearing this, Louise gripped the teacup in her hand. I mean, the Duke is known to be quite innocent in those matters, is not he? You even traveled a long way from abroad to find a husband like that. Julia laughed mockingly. If it is too difficult, I can introduce a famous person to help with those matters. I only offer because I sympathize with you. Consider it a special favor. Louise covered her mouth and chuckled coldly. Thank you for your concern. But my husband is a bit possessive, so it would be hard for him to accept help from others. He listens to everyone's opinions, but he is always stubborn about matters like this. Julia grit her teeth upon hearing that. Louise felt secretly triumphant. You already have a lover, yet you have the nerve to interfere in someone else's marriage. Her eyes lowered, thinking of the same thing about the others. She gripped the hem of her skirt. I heard you still have no news of a child. On behalf of the Duke of Brant, I truly feel sorry for you. If you want one that badly, could I take his place? Hey Garrison, do not you think that is going too far? Alexis is doing his best. Louise confronted Marcel's group directly. I have no more reason to maintain the family's honor. Now that it has come to this, I won't let this slide easily. I will start with these bastards and tear high society apart. Marquis Marcel Howard. Louise spoke first. How is your wife doing lately? Marcel looked confused. Why are you asking about my wife? She continued, you are still very devoted to her. Does that mean you have forgiven her for that matter? Marcel asked. What matter? Seeing this, she thought, so you really do not know. Of course, if Marcel knew, he would not be hanging around Count Garrison anymore. Louise smirked. Oh dear, you really do not know. Louise smiled mockingly. I mean the fact that Marchioness Howard is keeping a lover. She laughed with delight. In the small world of noble society, there are countless secrets that only the parties involved do not know. To avoid making enemies, she did not need to hold back anymore. So she might as well let it all out. Marcel's face contorted. He shouted, ridiculous, would you even lie like that just to protect your husband? My wife only cares about me. Are you trying to cause trouble on purpose? Louise remained calm. Just as I thought, the Marquis's faith in his wife remains unshaken. But are you sure your wife really only cares about you? Why not ask the person standing next to you? Count Garrison Osborne, considering what they have done to us, this can hardly be called revenge. Marcel questioned himself, why did she suddenly mention Garrison's name? He whirled around and asked, hey Garrison, what is she talking about? Louise thought. After all the passionate play you have had with another man's wife, you really have nothing left to say, do you? Louise spoke up, or you could ask Marquis Damien Wells. I am sure he is the only other person who knows. Damien hurriedly avoided her gaze. Absurd. You pretend to have a conscience only because you are insulting your husband. Marcel, she is just talking nonsense, ignore her. Louise's tone was firm. Whether it is true or false, you will find out eventually. Garrison, feeling guilty, cursed, this crazy woman, where did you get such a ridiculous story? Louise shouted, if you do not want things to get worse, stay away from my husband. She cursed inwardly, leave us alone. Haven't you had enough fun tormenting us? It is frustrating that I am not strong enough to take proper revenge. Louise screamed at the top of her lungs, get out of the way and get lost. Marcel suddenly swung his fist. He was enraged. Why do not you shut your mouth? Eloy screamed in shock. Instantly, Alex stepped forward and threw a punch faster than Marcel, sending him sprawling. The powerful force sent him flying. Marcel's face was swollen. He struggled to sit up. Alex nonchalantly rotated his wrist. Louise looked at him in shock. Did Alex just hit someone? Alex looked at Marcel with a dark expression. He cursed inwardly, how dare he raise a hand against a woman, and someone else's wife at that, truly trash, without even basic morals. Then the system appeared, congratulations, Louise's request has been completed, and a special skill has been unlocked. Special skill, don't touch my wife. LV.1. Even if an enemy with ill intent tries to harm you, physical damage resistance increases tenfold. Consumes mana upon use. Duration 30 seconds. Duration is proportional to mana and favorability levels. Alex rubbed his chin, puzzled. What is this suddenly? Do not tell me. He suddenly remembered and realized. What is favorability level? Your wife's favorability level makes you stronger. When her affection increases or you follow Louisa's orders, a special skill is unlocked. So, increase favorability. Alex pondered, I see. The skill activated because Louise said, do not touch my husband. By the way, is not this stronger than my original skills? Garrison and Damien were furious. Is this bastard crazy? You bastard, do you think you can do whatever you want? How dare you hit us? Alex ignored them and turned to ask Louise, are you okay? She replied softly, yes. Alex reminded her gently, it might be dangerous. Step back for a moment. Eloy pulled Louise back slightly. Sister, let us step back. At this moment, Alex's expression became dangerous. He warned, I will let it slide just this once. If you do not want to be punched again, you would better leave quietly. Marcel sat on the ground, trembling non-stop. Damien remained nonchalant, his tone impulsive. What the hell can someone like you do? Garrison added. Hey Marcel, stop whining and get up. Are you just going to lie there after being hit by a weak idiot like him? Marcel clutched his swollen face and pointed at Alex in panic. Wait, but that bastard just spoke clearly, right? Garrison's voice was impatient. What do you mean speak clearly? Marcel cursed. You idiot, he has a habit of stuttering. Garrison was still arrogant. Didn't he just talk? Marcel insisted. No, there is something different. I guarantee he spoke perfectly clearly. Alex ruffled his hair in exasperation. Do I have to say it again for you to understand? To think such fools are nobles? I can see the state of this country. Marcel shouted to the group. See? I told you, he is not stuttering at all. Damien guessed, he probably just happened to speak correctly this once. Garrison said arrogantly, I did not hear clearly. Hey, try saying it again. Alex laughed with contempt. It seems they can't be persuaded. I will have to use another way. He slowly walked toward the group. From what I saw earlier, you have a bad habit with those hands. Alex's overwhelming aura pressured them as he spoke a stern warning. I think I should fix that habit before I leave. Marcel was stunned. What did you say? Alex decisively stepped hard on Marcel's hand. Damien quickly swung a fist and lunged. You bastard, want to die? Alex swiftly grabbed his collar, leaving him dazed. What? Damien's tone was fearful. You. Let me go. Alex laughed coldly. Fewer begging. With that, he dropped him from a height without warning. Damien shouted arrogantly, you madman, you think you can get away with this? Garrison standing nearby sneered, do you think we would be afraid of someone like you? Pathetic. Interesting. Come on, do it again. He provoked Alex. After all, we can make someone like you evaporate without a sound. Alex thought, if this counts as an attack, should I try activating that skill to test it? He mused, it is completely different from using other basic skills. It is. Warm and very comfortable. Garrison approached to push Alex's shoulder. It means even if you resist, it is useless. He was bewildered. What, it feels like a wall just went up. Or was it my imagination? Garrison cursed bitterly, insolent bastard. We will let you leave in silence after you take a few hits. Alex was lost in thought. The favorability level or skill rank is still low, so the duration is too short. Now the skill has deactivated. I feel empty. Garrison clenched his fist and threatened, you would better prepare yourself. He swung a fist at Alex, but he quickly dodged it with ease. Garrison's tone was flustered. You dare dodge? Are you afraid of pain? Alex mocked, thinking you can hit me with skills like that. Provoked, Garrison snapped, what? You arrogant bastard. He punched Alex hard, but he blocked it with one hand. Alex expertly kicked him hard in the thigh. Garrison collapsed in pain, screaming. Damien was terrified. Is that really that idiot Alexis? Marcel's face was pale. No. Unbelievable. Damien nudged Marcel and suggested, it has been a long time, so I intended to greet him in a friendly way, but it seems that won't work. You have that, right? Let us make that bastard kneel like we used. So. Hearing this, Marcel nodded and reached into his coat. He pulled out a dagger. Louise panicked. A knife? They pulled out a weapon. Eloy was also worried. What? That is the real thing. She quickly picked up a rock from the roadside. Eloy threw it hard at Marcel and shouted, you filthy bastard. The stone hit Marcel squarely in the face. He yelled, are you crazy? Eloy pointed and scolded, you pulled out a knife first. At this point, Garrison's side also stood up. Damien also stepped forward quietly. Behind his back, a knife was prepared. He gripped the knife, taking an offensive stance. On the other side, Marcel yelled at Eloy, she is crazy. Just then Damien rushed behind Alex. Louise noticed and whispered in horror, there is more than one knife. She saw that Alex still had not detected the threat. Louise thought, I do not think Alex sees it. No, it is too dangerous. She hurried toward him to stop it. Damien flashed a chillingly evil smile. Louise quickly hugged Damien's body to block him. Alex, look out. The knife accidentally slashed back toward him. Alex then turned around in shock. Louise. Before his eyes was the sight of Louise hugging Damien to stop his actions. He grit his teeth, looking at Louise with hatred. What? What is this? Damien grabbed Louise's hair and yanked hard, making her scream. Let go, you bitch. A surge of electricity ran through Alex's body. His face darkened and veins of rage bulged on his forehead. Before his eyes was Louise, her eyes welling with tears from the pain of having her hair pulled. Alex lunged forward as quick as a flash. He gripped Damien's throat so tightly that the man had no time to react. Deprived of air, Damien's face turned bright red, and he could not utter a single word. Louise cried out in terror, Alex, he is going to die if you keep this up, stop it. Alex looked momentarily sorrowful, his voice tinged with hurt, but Louise, this bastard just. You. Louise's eyes were rimmed with red, tears trembling on the brink. Seeing this, Alex immediately suppressed his boiling rage. He threw Damien toward Marcel. Marcel caught Damien's staggering body and threatened, You bastard, I do not know how you became like this, but I won't let this slide. Alex replied in a mocking tone, Why are you stuttering? Are you jealous of how I used to be? Marcel cursed furiously, You damn bastard. Alex's face hardened as he warned them, You would better leave while I am still feeling merciful. Having said that, he turned to look at Louise with deep affection. Alex reached out his hand, his tone gentle, It is over. Let us go. Louise's cheeks flushed a deep crimson. She happily placed her hand in his. Behind them Marcel growled, Stay right there. Ignoring them, the three of them walked away leisurely. Louise felt a lingering unease in her heart. She had felt anxious many times before, but this was the first time Alex had looked so different. Alex's voice was hesitant, Louise, about that. I am sorry. Louise looked bewildered, Yes. His eyes shone with guilt, You were hurt because of my mistake. I am sorry. Louise hurried to comfort him, No, Alex. You got angry because you were protecting me. You do not have to apologize. They were the ones in the wrong. She did not hold back her praise, I think you were really cool, Alex. Eloy chimed in, That is right, it was hilarious seeing him get beaten to a pulp like a scarecrow. Alex rubbed the back of his neck shyly, If you say so, then that is a relief. I was embarrassed to show such a crude side of myself. Louise turned to Eloy, By the way, Eloy, it is a pity we could not get to the shop you wanted sooner. She pointed ahead and suggested, If it is all right, shall we stop there? Eloy's eyes lit up, his voice filled with excitement, Yes, let us go see what they have. With that, the three of them happily entered the building. The scene shifted to the carriage. Alex thought to himself, It is a good thing I learned how to drive a carriage in my past life. He felt nostalgic, In this moment I am benefiting from those mandatory quests. I could not even hire a driver because of the Emperor's orders. In his past life, after awakening, he had continued to perform various physical training tasks given by the system. Other awakened individuals had mundane tasks like basic physical training, running, or swimming. But strangely, he had been forced to learn many different types of sports. Alex thought regardless, the whole family seemed very surprised. If I am questioned about this, perhaps I should confess. He made up his mind, I do not intend to deceive them for long, but now is the time to tell the truth. He began to worry, if they find out I am not her husband, they will surely kick me out of the house. That is right, could someone like me, who lived alone since childhood, truly have feelings for them? It is impossible. Alex felt a pang of heartache, this is just the burden of having to reveal the truth that Alexis is dead. Inside the carriage, Louise and Eloy were silent. Louise leaned her head to watch the sunset through the window. She spoke first to break the quiet atmosphere, Eloy. Louise posed a question, was Alex always such a good fighter? She sounded a bit concerned, Of course I know he is very clumsy, but I wonder if he is different from when he was a child. Eloy waved his hand dismissively, No, of course not. He could not even run fast. I told you, right, he could not swing a sword, and he said he did not even dare go to the shooting range because he was afraid of the sound of gunfire. Louise pondered, just as I thought. The boy thought for a moment and replied, I also find it a bit strange. If he had always been that good at fighting, he would not have let those guys get away with it. Louise cautiously reminded Eloy, For now, keep today's events a secret from Mother. She won't be happy if she finds out we ran into people from the Holden Textile Union. I will try to talk to Alex privately. He gave a mischievous smile. Understood, sister-in-law. Anyway, it was quite satisfying, was not it, seeing those guys get trashed? Louisa's cheeks flushed as she playfully replied, that is true. The sky outside was cast in a beautiful orange glow. Everything seemed to become light and peaceful. Back at the mansion, Louise called out softly, Alex. She asked worriedly, are you okay? You do not look hurt, but are you pushing yourself too hard? Alex reassured her, I am really fine. I was more worried about you having to go through that, honey. He recalled the pained expression on Louisa's face when Damien pulled her hair. Alex's expression immediately soured. Louise asked, but how did you become such a good fighter? I never knew you were so strong. At that moment, Alex seemed to snap out of it. He replied slowly, I figured you would be curious about that. His voice was serious. Of course, I knew you would have questions. Alex tried to explain. I am also quite confused about what has been happening to me lately. I do not even know how to explain it to you. He continued to confide, it is a long chain of events I could never have imagined. Among them, the biggest change is how much I have changed. Louise thought sadly, so even Alex is going through changes that even he can't fully understand. He must have felt so confused by such a sudden situation. She stepped closer to him, her tone soft, I do not fully understand this situation either, but one thing is for sure. Louise's face was full of expectation. You mean you are becoming stronger? She reached out her hand as if to touch Alex. At first I thought maybe you were deceiving us, but there is no reason for that. If you possessed this much power, you would have shown it before we lost everything. Louise felt a deep sense of sympathy. You have been enduring this for years. She gently stroked his ear, leaving Alex stunned. That is why I think. Maybe you became strong because of something. Louise's face showed clear sorrow. Just as the way you speak has changed, perhaps your body has changed for some inexplicable reason, right? Feeling comforted, Alex's expression turned pained. Louise thought to herself, if you are not trying to deceive me, or even if you have been deceiving me until now, as long as you tell me the truth, that is enough. He replied to Louise, yes, I have changed, just as you saw with your own eyes, darling. She wondered, but how? Alex averted his gaze, turning away so he would not have to look Louise in the eye. I am still trying to figure that out. There is something that makes me feel uneasy. Louise was confused. Something's not right. She speculated in her mind, since it is a special ability, the way he received it must be very special too, right? Louise asked gently, is it an ability you had to trade your lifespan for, or something with severe side effects? Alex immediately replied, of course not. I understand you are surprised. I was worried you would be troubled by it, my lady. Louise's face showed a hint of disappointment. No, you must be more confused than I am. As long as you are okay, then so am I. She clenched her hands tightly. It is just. You have changed so much. Can you really handle it? She thought to herself, of course, Alex really is very handsome, strong, and in good physical shape. He simply avoided heavy exercise for unknown reasons. Alex gently reassured Louise. Luckily, as time has passed, I have adapted quite well, so I am fine now. Hearing that, Louise clutched her chest and sighed in relief. I see. Good. Now I can rest easy. If you ever find the reason behind your change, could you tell me? Alex nodded slightly. I will. With that, Louise turned to leave. Then I will be going. Sorry for keeping you when you must be tired. Get some good rest. Left alone in the room, Alex tormented himself. I can't possibly say it that the real Alex is dead, and the person standing here is not her husband. Alex ruffled his messy hair. If only she had pressed me, asked me who I was or if I was really her husband. I might have told her the truth. He recalled Louisa's mood at that moment. There was not a single shred of doubt in her eyes. It made sense with the same face. It was hard to think he was someone else. Why did it have to be Alexis out of all people just because our appearances match, or is it so I can take revenge for Alexis? He questioned himself, but why is favorability the most important thing of all? Status: cold newlywed husband, level 1, affection 2, experience 0. The one who deserved Louisa's affection should have been the deceased Alexis. He clenched his fist, his thoughts firm, but she still seems to love Alexis. At that moment, the system notification appeared. To reach level 2, you need affection 3 and experience 30. Quickly gain favorability and experience to level up. Seeing this, Alex ran a hand through his hair tiredly. This damn system. It is driving me crazy. By now, night had fallen. Marcel's group's carriage moved slowly. Inside, the three of them were silent. The atmosphere was stifling. Marcel leaned his chin on his hand, fuming inside. This is the first time in my life I have suffered such humiliation. It is absurd someone like Alexis doing that to me. He growled, it is impossible, no way, is that idiot really Alexis? Garrison and Damien turned to look at him. One of them spoke up, we can't let this go. If we let things end like this, that bastard will think we are a joke. Garrison could not hide his dissatisfaction. His wife and sister too. How dare they insult and mock us? Marcel gnashed his teeth and thought, it is frustrating and unbelievable. I could not even land a single hit on him. And then, that nonsensical woman. He recalled Louisa's words, oh my, it seems you did not know Marchioness Howard has a lover. Marcel's shoulders trembled. He sat there biting his nails. Julia has a lover, ridiculous. But I can't ignore this unpleasant feeling. Damien suggested, I think it is best to report this matter to the Emperor. Garrison shouted, what, say that Alexis beat us to a pulp? Damien rubbed his bruised neck and thought, of course, this is embarrassing enough that we would rather hide it, but his strength is no joke. If we let him run wild like this. Marcel waved his hand, who would believe that, it is Alexis after all. They will just think it is a joke and laugh at us. Damien smirked, I suppose you are right. Marcel clenched his hand, pondering, damn it, how should we avenge this humiliation? There is a way. There is still a way. He grumbled, we do not even need to dirty our own hands. After all, we are known as the elegant gentlemen of the Fashion Union. Finally Marcel flashed a cunning smile, you picked the wrong person to mess with, Alexis. In Louisa's bedroom. She lay there tossing and turning. He does not stutter anymore and moves more naturally than before. Just how much has Alex changed? His timid demeanor had vanished, replaced by a slightly cold attitude. His habit of covering his entire body as if hiding himself was gone. Either he did not care anymore or did not feel the need to do so, as he no longer minded being shirtless. Louisa's eyes gradually began to close. It seems only his appearance remains unchanged. Do people usually change this much after returning from the brink of death? She slowly drifted off to sleep anyway, everything is fine. Alex is still Alex. He has not changed for the worse. Yes, that is what Alex wanted too. So why do I feel so uneasy deep down? He is almost like a completely different person. Is that really Alex? The next morning, a lavish picnic basket sat on the green grass. Alex's mother took a bite of bread and remarked, this chef is not bad at all. Beside her, Eloy took a large bite, looking extremely excited, so delicious. Louise laughed heartily as she poured water. I brought some sandwiches. Just eat slowly, Eloy. Then she turned to ask, is the food to your liking, Alex? Alex replied gently, yes, it is very good. Louise noticed something and froze. Is Alex eating a beef sandwich? That is unusual. She noted to herself, this family's sandwich preferences are, mother-in-law likes grilled salmon, Eloy likes meat stuffed sandwiches, and Alex always eats chicken sandwiches. It has always been that way. She thought this while reaching for a loaf of bread from the basket, that is why I prepared them that way. Louise began to suspect even his taste in food has changed. The man looked at Louise with concern. Is something wrong? Seeing his worried gaze, she quickly replied, it is nothing. But she could not help thinking, even my own tastes have changed a lot, so what does it matter? Immediately after, Louise took a large bite of her sandwich and reassured herself, maybe in the future we can change many more things together. In a flash, night had arrived, a dark night punctuated by the faint glimmer of stars. At the same time, Alex sat quietly in his room, let out a long sigh. He looked down at his hands and rotated his wrists a few times. The unfamiliar sensation made his brows furrow slightly. Perhaps it is because this is not my original body, but my movements seem slow. A very soft sigh escaped him as complex thoughts rose in Alex's head. I estimated my strength based on my original condition, but it is not even half. It is a good thing those guys had no skills, but... He suddenly stood up, tensing his muscles. They looked firm, but the foundation is too lacking. I can increase my physical strength momentarily using mana, but if my endurance is weak, I won't be able to maintain it for long even with mana or skills. Alex stood tall, his gaze becoming serious. System, I will start with the basic endurance quest. Instantly, a screen flashed in the void. Enhancement quest, strength for beginners. 50 sit-ups, 50 push-ups, 5-kilometer run, 5-kilometer cycle. Alex skimmed through it and frowned slightly. Is this all for the novice level? It is quite light. In that moment he made a silent vow, I will be able to strengthen my endurance every day this way. In another development, Louise was stealthily wandering through the dark of night. She cautiously approached the door, her ear pressed against the surface. The silence made Louise smile brightly. Great. Everyone is sound asleep. No one will disturb me. Immediately after, she gently took each step down toward the staircase. A while later, Louise appeared with a food tray. She smiled. Since we have had an exhausting day, we should enjoy some wine together intimately, right? Surely a married couple should not find it so hard to spend time together. Without hesitation, Louise reached out and knocked firmly on the door. She kept her voice low as if afraid of waking the whole house. Alex, it is me. Are you asleep? Louise lowered her head, feeling a bit disappointed. I should not wake someone who is sleeping. I should probably leave. With that thought, she turned around. There is no other way. The door suddenly opened and Alex stood there. He whispered her name, Louise. She turned back in surprise, her eyes wide. Alex. Then suddenly, the wine tray in Louise's hand slipped. Seeing this, Alex quickly reached out toward her. He unexpectedly wrapped his arm around Louise's waist and held her firmly. At this action, her cheeks turned as red as a ripe tomato. She stammered. Alex. In contrast to Louise, Alex asked worriedly, are you okay? Louise replied instinctively, yes, thank you. She tilted her head, her gaze searching, a new sensation rising within her. Oh my Alex, you look a bit different. Or is it just my imagination? As soon as she could react, Louise blurted out, Alex, what were you doing just now? To her unexpected question, he casually replied, I was just training a bit. Hearing this, she could not help but feel a bit bewildered. Yes. Training. Louise looked into the room, unable to imagine it, training in the room like running in place. Alex's gaze fixed on the bottle of wine. Louise, what are you doing here at this hour? And what is this? She gave a light smile, though her eyes were full of nervous excitement. Since we had a difficult day today, I thought it would be nice if we spent some time together, so I brought this. His eyelashes fluttered slightly, and his voice sounded low and deep. Actually, I thought you had already gone to sleep. Louise gave a faint smile and replied gently, I could not sleep well. I also wanted to talk to you privately after such a long time. Having said that, Louise casually placed the wine tray on the table. At the same time, Alex casually latched the door. Seeing this, she bit her lip, her heart racing. It is just the two of us. I am feeling a bit restless. Am I acting inappropriately? Then Louise tried to change the subject, her voice a bit hurried. But what kind of physical training were you doing? Alex replied softly, his voice calm, just basic bodyweight exercises like push-ups. Louise nodded understandingly. I see. I did not know you also did other types of training. She thought to herself, Alex training, that is like Eloy reading a non-fiction book. Suddenly Louise smiled and made an unexpected suggestion. Well then, could we continue training together in the future? He agreed without hesitation, sure. Hearing that, she felt happy inside. That is great. On his end, Alex stared at the glass of deep red wine. Louise saw the sweat still lingering on his forehead and felt her heart sink slightly. Alex looks a bit tired. Did I come here for nothing? But when else will we have a chance to talk? Or maybe he is nervous because Alex is an innocent man with no experience. She gathered her courage and looked up. So, could we go horseback riding together now? I was a bit disappointed having to ride alone before because you had trouble with it. Louise's voice lowered, carrying a hint of long-suppressed self-pity. Actually, I felt jealous hearing about other couples. You did not do it on purpose, so I could not express my disappointment, but... She held out the glass to Alex, a smile playing on her lips. Let us have a toast. Meanwhile, the gaze he leveled at Louise was still somewhat pensive. In that moment, the sound of glass clinking echoed. After a moment of silence, Alex finally spoke. I understand. Let us go riding together. Louise's face lit up, joy evident on her features. Wow, that is wonderful. Thank you, Alex. With that, he turned away and took a small sip of wine. Louise smiled softly, her eyes sparkling as she imagined it, riding together. Just the thought of it is romantic. I am so glad Alex's body has recovered. Suddenly she tilted her head in concern. By the way, control is also very important in training. You are not overexerting yourself, are you? Alex replied in a calm voice, it is fine. It was only a total of 100 repetitions. Louise's eyes widened, her lips parted in clear shock. 100. Her voice dropped with worry, her elegant brows furrowing. This is your first time. Is it okay to push yourself that hard? He shook his head to reassure her. I did not do it too harshly. Louise lowered her head slightly, her gaze flickering over Alex with a mix of curiosity and confused emotion. I do not really understand those things. You have changed so much. His gaze deepened with determination. No, I feel my body is still weak after the workout. I plan to gradually increase the exercises from now on. She quietly observed Alex's every move, speculating to herself, because his body suddenly became stronger, perhaps his mind and body are no longer in sync, leading to overload. Louise gently held the wine bottle out to him, her movements slow and elegant. Your glass is empty, Alex. This wine is quite good, is not it? The restaurant chef recommended it. Alex spoke in a low, serious tone of concern. Yes, but this drink has quite a high alcohol content, so be careful not to drink too much. She immediately protested. It is just wine, do not worry. A long while later, the food on the plate was gone. Over here, Louise could not stop laughing, mumbling incessantly, that is right. Alex looked into Louise's increasingly hazy eyes. Louise, you are drunk. She leaned toward him, her voice softening as if searching for a familiar comfort. Alex, you seem much better now. Louise murmured, her expression a mix of bashfulness and liquid courage. Can't we sleep together? The moment the words left her lips, Alex froze, his eyes widening in pure shock. In contrast to Alex's stunned expression, Louise maintained a silly, innocent smile. After a long moment, the look in her eyes shifted. Alex. He let out a light cough, turning his head to hide his embarrassment. Ahem. Louise, it is late. I will escort you back to your room. Let us head up. Hearing this, Louise puffed out her cheeks in dissatisfaction. Fine. Alex supported her body, which had gone limp from the wine. Careful now. Leaning lightly against his shoulder, she thought subconsciously. He used to be someone who frequently had cold hands and feet, and was always so stressed. Thinking of this, Louise instinctively turned to look at Alex, truly relieved to see him so healthy. Then she suddenly burst into a soft giggle. A while later, Alex looked at Louise with concern and said hesitantly, well then. Good night. With that, the door was promptly closed tight. Standing on the other side, Alex turned around, his skin having flushed bright red at some point. Louise's voice continued to echo in his ears. Alex, if your health is fine now, can't we sleep together? He stood frozen for a moment, his gaze wavering between reason and responsibility. His heart was in a state of conflict. I suppose it is natural for a married couple to have such conversations. I have never dated before, so I never thought about it. But since she said that, I have changed since becoming her husband. At that thought, he shook his head frantically. But the real Alex might return, so this is the right thing to do. The scene shifted to that morning. Alex stopped at the base of the stairs. He was currently dressed in noble attire. In that moment, Alex recalled Louise's voice then. Can we go riding together? He felt a twinge of melancholy. She is so excited to go riding with her husband. It seems the original owner of this body only spent time with her for walks or meals at most. Luckily, I know how to ride. Not just that, I am proficient in various maneuvers thanks to my teacher's guidance. Suddenly, Alex startled himself. Wait, all those dating courses Louise has not been able to do until now. If I do them with her, won't my favorability points increase? When I said I would go riding with her, Louise looked truly happy. Perhaps the affection level will rise through this outing. Phew. I never used to have thoughts like this, but somehow I am actually contemplating ways to increase favorability. But I can't stay at level 1 forever. Your title has changed, the savior who slew a god, cold-blooded husband. Level 1. Affection 0. Trust 2. As I level up and complete quests, I might find out why I entered Alex's body. At that moment, Alex whipped around. Louise was gracefully stepping down the stairs. She was dressed in her duchess attire. Louise flashed a smile as bright as the morning sun. Sorry for keeping you waiting. Let us go, I have really been looking forward to going riding with you like this. On the opposite side, he stood rooted to the spot, his cheeks flushing as red as a ripe tomato. She tilted her head, looking at him while he remained pensive, her hair fluttering slightly in the breeze. Alex, is something wrong? Alex gave a light cough and hurriedly changed the subject. It is nothing. Let us go. Suddenly, the system screen appeared right in front of him. The glowing text reflected, Quest start. Successfully complete the first riding date with Louise. Quest rewards affection +1, experience +10, trust +3. The scene shifted to a wooden lodge. Alex gently took Louisa's hand. She sat atop the horse, hair blowing in the wind, her eyes shining with pure joy. Looking at this wide-open nature makes me feel so refreshed. Louise leaned back slightly. Alexis. He carefully placed his foot into the stirrup. Then, Alex quickly mounted the horse, his face set in a firm expression. Louise leaned forward, her face full of amazement. Alex, you can ride that fast. He said he was practicing, but can the results be seen this quickly? She then reassured herself, or maybe it is because he has watched and learned so much until now. Alex turned his head to look at Louise. Shall we head out now? Her cheeks flushed pink as she thought to herself, being able to spend such a wonderful time with my husband. Feels like a dream. Meanwhile, Alex kept his head down, deep in thought. Louise must be moved by today's ride. Alex's gaze sharpened, calculating as if in a tactical battle. Just riding around won't change her mind. Perhaps because the rewards are so generous, the success conditions are this difficult. He swallowed hard. What must I do to move her? First of all, this is my first time on a date with anyone. Suddenly, Alex froze and looked at her with wide eyes. This would be much easier if I were just killing a boss at my current progress. Louise is not a monster, but the fact that she is my primary target is essentially the same. His resolve sharpened in an instant. That is right. I will just treat Louise like a gang boss. No matter how powerful a magical creature is, there are always openings and weaknesses. If I can find the weakness, I can capture the target. Alex's gaze wavered slightly as he looked at Louise. She is truly happy just being out together. Could that be one of the things she wanted to do with her husband? I just need to do things one by one like this to increase the favorability. Among the things Alexis could not do was because of his mana source. Alexis Meyer, male, 23 years old. Duke of the Brent family. A man of peerless beauty. Committed suicide by drinking poison. Special note: while dying, his soul wandered to another world and he mistook his mana for an illness. He was always cautious in his behavior, fearing mana would erupt from his body. He has many things Louise wants to do. In the blink of an eye, the two had traveled to the front of a manor. Alex quickly dismounted. He turned toward Louise instinctively, his hand gently reaching out. Seeing this, she quickly grasped Alex's hand. Suddenly he called her name, Louise. She turned to him. Yes, her heart skipped a beat. This gentle side of him remained the same. Alex's voice dropped, his eyes showing a rare seriousness. There is something I want to apologize to you for, my lady. Hearing this, Louise's eyes widened, her pupils trembling slightly. He continued, his voice somewhat hesitant. I apologize for not being able to fulfill my wife's wishes sooner. As soon as he spoke, Louise reacted immediately. She gently shook her head. No, Alex. You did not do it on purpose. Louise smiled, though sincerity shone in the depths of her eyes. Even now I am just happy to be able to have a normal date with you, Alex. Alex remained silent, looking at her motionlessly. I feel a strange sense of familiarity, as if I have seen this scene before. But more than that, my attention keeps gravitating toward her. Louise continued, of course I often felt disappointed during those times, but now I know that just being alive and healthy is such a precious thing. She turned and giggled. Enduring a good date is much better than not having you by my side, right? Her words made Alex's heart feel as though it were dropping into an abyss. He began to struggle internally. Oh no. Should I stay by Louise's side, standing here in the position of her husband? After a moment of silence, Alex slowly replied, I thought it would be better if I were not by your side. Louise looked up at him, momentarily worried. What? Alex fell silent, feeling a wave of anxiety. Should I really have said that? Do I have the right to speak on behalf of Alexis's feelings? But I think I know Alexis's true feelings. An emotion surging from deep within, urging me to speak right now at this exact moment. Alex's lips parted slightly, and a word escaped. He continued, his gaze averted. I hope you live a much better life than being the wife of a man like me. Louisa's smile vanished, her eyes clouding over like a disturbed lake. Is that what you think? Immediately after, she whipped around. Never mind. Let us go. Alex followed behind, bewildered. Yes. Louise quickly changed her tone, putting on a smile to erase the heavy atmosphere. Today you will do everything I want, right? Shortly after, the two moved toward the shopkeeper. Their eyes settled on the bustling street. Louise scanned the area with excitement. She suddenly pointed toward a stall, her eyes lighting up like a child's. "Can we have some cotton candy?" The vendor smiled. "Oh, welcome." Louise gestured happily. "2 cotton candies, please." The vendor grinned, handing over 2 giant cotton candies with a playful, well-meaning look. "I gave you the biggest ones. You two are such a handsome couple, you stand out even from afar." She accepted them happily. "Wow, thank you." Louise held a stick out toward him. "Here's yours, Alex." Alex stared at the cotton candy for a long time. He looked at the cloud like sugar in his hand, and distant memories of another life came flooding back. Cotton candy. When was the last time I ate this? Louise slowly twirled the cotton candy in the sunlight, her soft voice blending with the wind. Eating cotton candy in a place like this is truly fun, is not it? She stood on tiptoe to offer the candy to him, her fingertips trembling slightly with shyness. "Here, Alex. Have a taste." Alex stood motionless, his cheeks flushed. After a moment's hesitation, he carefully opened his mouth. Seeing him eat it happily, she smiled broadly. "Here, Alex, try some more." Alex lowered his head to her level. "Okay." He let out a soft laugh, a rare expression of relaxation appearing on his face. "It is very sweet." Later, images of them enjoying themselves were captured. The two of them happily enjoying food while he observed her. Then, a scene of them rowing a boat together under the sunset. Soon it was late at night. Louise stood still, admiring the view under the late moonlight. Her silky hair fluttered in the breeze. Louisa's heart throbbed as she remembered it was the first sincere thing she would heard from him since his suicide attempt. Alex's hesitant voice echoed in her ears. I thought it would be better if I were not by your side." A surge of emotion between pain and happiness made Louisa's chest feel tight. Of course, initially she felt betrayed, thinking he was abandoning her. But now, hearing him say he hoped she lived a better life, it felt as if her heart were aching. He truly did not understand her feelings at all. Alex turned and called out, his voice deep, his eyes still on her. "Louise, let us get ready to head back." Louise nodded quickly, hiding her chaotic emotions behind her familiar gentle smile. "Yes, let us go home now." She suddenly caught a glimpse of a pained look in his eyes. Meanwhile, Alex could not help but feel bewildered. Why has not the favorability level increased at all today? She certainly looked very happy, but the quest window remains unchanged. Is it really this hard just to go up one level? In my past life, I reached level 2 just by catching a few monsters. This quest, it is a failure. I will just wait for the next opportunity. Thinking back, she seemed very happy on the horse this morning. Just as Louise was about to climb onto the horse, Alex suddenly spoke up. "Louise, wait a moment. I will lift you up." She turned around confused. "Pardon." Then, he suddenly lowered his center of gravity, his gaze becoming serious. Alex's hand opened before her, steady and warm. "Here. Give me your hand." A series of romantic fantasies flashed through Louisa's mind, making her heart race. No way. Is he going to help me onto the horse like riding on the same horse? A thought flashed through her mind, hugging from behind all the way home. Louise then gently climbed onto the horse with Alex's guidance. The moment he lifted her effortlessly, he could not help but marvel. "Just as I thought, she is too light. Did she lose weight because life has been so difficult lately? I should pay attention to Louisa's diet for her health's sake." Meanwhile, Louise stared blankly at Alex's back. "It turns out he just meant helping me onto the horse. I got my hopes up for nothing." She shook her head frantically as if in denial. "That is right, that kind of skinship is still too early. I heard Alex's sincere feelings today, and I was very happy on the date. I should not be too greedy." Alex looked at Louise sitting motionless on the horse, his eyes full of concern. "Is something wrong?" Glowing text appeared before his eyes. "Quest success, congratulations. You have completed the first riding date and moved Louise. Quest rewards: affection level +1, experience +10, trust +3. Seeing this, he could not help but feel stunned. "I almost gave up, but it succeeded." Alex was still pensive, questioning himself what part of that moved her the heading back. "Anyway, thanks to that, I only need 20 more experience points to reach level 2. At the same time, dark shadows had appeared in the forest at some point. A small noise sounded and Alex's body suddenly froze. His gaze abruptly turned cold and sharp. That train group is following us. Despite this, Alex continued riding through the forest. He glanced at the dark shadows in the distance, assessing them mentally. Who are those guys? Are they a group of assassins? Alex became even more certain. I do not know the reason, but clearly they do not have good intentions. I do want to find out why they are tracking me. But I do not want to involve Louise. A voice rang out in the air. Gideon appeared as if merging with the wind. Master called for me. Alex ordered in a low, decisive voice, his gaze unwavering. Put all those who are following us to sleep. Make sure no one sees you. As soon as the words were spoken, Gideon opened his mouth, revealing sharp fangs. Gideon then pounced toward the group. The system window suddenly opened repeatedly. He paused. This is. The glowing text read, Sudden Quest. Defeat the Grave Mercenary group and earn experience points. Experience points increase by 5 every time a person's health is completely depleted. Rewards affection experience trust plus 10. Upon seeing them, Alex was nearly stunned. An experience quest. He hurriedly signaled to stop. Gideon, can you wait a moment? Alex hesitated for a heartbeat. Should I borrow Gideon's eyes? Information flooded his mind along with an aerial view. He quickly made a judgment. These guys are the Grave Mercenary group. The Grave Mercenary group. They are a notorious group of mercenaries, rumored to accept any request for money. The jobs they are hired for are mostly tasks on behalf of nobles who do not want to get their hands dirty. Their skills are formidable, and it is said they rarely fail any request. Alex then ordered in a low voice meant only for Gideon, his lips barely moving. Gideon, keep an eye on them. Louise turned back to ask, her eyes still clear and unaware of the danger, Alex, what is wrong? He pulled hard on the reins, and the horse immediately reared up. Over here, Louise turned back hesitantly. I thought I heard a strange sound somewhere, so I stopped for a moment. Hearing this, Alex scanned the surroundings. Seeing how even the horses did not make a sound, it seemed they were very well trained. In another development, Carson smirked. Louise tilted her head, her gaze full of confusion as she looked at him. A strange noise. I did not hear anything. Alex signaled slightly with his hand. Wait for me a moment. He calculated in his head 10 people on the left, 10 on the right. Total experience is 50. Since the experience points needed to level up is 20, I will still have 30 points left even after leveling up. At that moment, the system announced new character unlocked. Alex quickly read the information. Carson Martin, male, 26 years old. Leader of the Grave Mercenary group, the second largest mercenary group in the Empire. He is very close to Axon and has studied swordsmanship with him since childhood. He regards Axon as a respected sworn brother. Combat power 10 years. When the leader's information board appeared, Alex's gaze wavered. Carson. So that is the leader. Oh, what is that? Alex's gaze settled on him. He startled. Wait, a gun. A few days ago with the Grave Mercenary group, Carson was complaining incessantly, I am bored to death. Are there any interesting requests? As soon as he spoke, a subordinate quickly replied, there is one, sir. The man hurried inside. This is a new request, Captain. Carson's eyes scanned the paper, then he asked suspiciously, the requester is a regular. The content is clear, basically beat up someone who caused trouble, right? After looking closely at the paper, Carson paused. The blood-stained words hit his eyes, find Alexis Meyer and beat him half to death. We are not sure of his location, so search the north. A smirk played on his lips. Perfect. This is exactly the kind of request I want, a job to topple arrogant nobles of high status and make them beg. Alexis Meyer, a duke who lost everything overnight. Rumor has it he does not even know how to hunt. I won't have to put in much effort. His wife is also quite famous. I really want to see them kneeling and begging for their lives. Immediately, Carson stood up, smirking. Just thinking about it was exciting. Back to reality, Carson coldly aimed his gun at Alex. His finger moved cautiously. He thought to himself, I want to tease them a bit, but for now I can't let them die. Back with Alex, his eyes flew open. Wait, a gun. Without hesitation, Alex hurriedly ordered the system speed skill. Speed skill allows the user to move at such extreme speed that the average human eye cannot keep up. On the other side, Carson pulled the trigger. A loud explosion rang out. Hearing the noise, the horse let out a neigh. Meanwhile, Alex held Louise tightly, gritting his teeth. If I had been just a moment slower, she would have been injured. Seeing this, Gideon let out a roar. How dare they? I will destroy them all. Alex immediately ordered Gideon, wait, take care of Louise first. He looked at her worriedly. Are you okay? She clutched his shirt, her eyes trembling as she finally sensed the unusual atmosphere. What is happening? Alex spoke briefly, his eyes never leaving the forest. It is an ambush. They seem to have been tracking us from the woods. Louise asked worriedly, what to us? He suddenly signaled for silence. Shook. Louise looked this way. Over here. Carson scanned the area. Where did they go? The subordinate felt a bit dazed. They were just here a moment ago, he added. They were right here until the shot was fired. Back with Louise, her voice trembled. They are really trying to ambush us. In contrast to her, Alex calmly ordered, Gideon, stay here and guard Louise. Before leaving, he turned back cautiously. Louise, wait for me a moment. It will only take a little while. Hearing this, Louise grew even more worried. What? It is dangerous. Where are you going? Suddenly, Alex activated his speed skill. A moment later, she slowly opened her eyes. Before Louise was an empty space. He had completely vanished. She stood frozen, her eyes wide with panic. Alex, he suddenly disappeared. Without thinking, Louise screamed out, Alex. She looked around the terrifyingly quiet forest, her breathing becoming erratic. I do not understand what is happening. We were clearly riding just now. Where is this place? Alex had disappeared as if he had teleported. Where could he possibly be? Her lips trembled, her gaze settling on the void. This is... Louise was bewildered seeing the figures scattered across the ground. What on earth happened here? She could not help but feel anxious. Was Alex safe? Suddenly his voice rang out, Louise. Hearing this, Louise whipped around toward the source of the sound. He walked toward her with an unbelievably calm demeanor. It is all over. I think we can go home now. Louise's eyelashes trembled involuntarily, her voice choked with emotion. You. Really? Meanwhile, Carson's men still lay motionless on the ground. Carson opened his mouth, letting out a groan of agonizing pain. He bolted upright, clutching his head. What the hell? He gritted his teeth, his brow furrowed. His entire body was aching. Having said that, Carson leaned over and stared into the empty space. He clutched his throbbing face, feeling a sense of shock. But what exactly was that guy? Carson muttered instinctively, I only managed to see an afterimage, but he was definitely tall and well built. Then he immediately denied it. I must have been hit so hard that my memory is getting fuzzy. Carson tried to piece together his fragmented memories. I was tailing the Duke and Duchess of Brent as requested by Marquis Howard. While we were confused because the couple suddenly disappeared, the team members. Time rewound to a few minutes prior. Carson looked around for a long time. What? Where did they go? The man beside him looked dazed. Weren't they just here? He added hesitantly. They were here until I fired the shot. Carson let out a furious curse. Damn it, where could they be? Suddenly he whipped around and roared, you bastards, stop running around, you are breaking my concentration. He realized that the bodies of his subordinates were already lying flat on the cold ground. The man next to him was suddenly struck in the abdomen by an invisible force. Seeing this, Carson turned around and growled, You bastard. Carson tried to grip his gun, his eyes darting around in panic. What just happened? Then a punch landed squarely on Carson's face. At that moment, the feeling of being overwhelmed crushed his pride. He only hit the others once, but he is targeting me specifically like this. At the final moment, Alex ruthlessly delivered an upward punch. His cold voice echoed, I will spare you this much for today. Back to the present, Carson gritted his teeth in anger. I can tell by intuition that man is no ordinary person. That was definitely Duke Alexis. They said he was weak, kind, a pushover and a coward. He hurried over to his men and growled, Damn it, get up, don't just lie there, get up now. Carson gritted his teeth once more. Do you think I will just retreat like this? On this side, text appeared before Alex's eyes. Congratulations, you have completed the sudden quest. Quest, defeat the Grave Mercenary group and earn experience points. Rewards affection +1, experience +50, trust +10. Level increased to 2. After a moment of hesitation, Louise called his name worriedly. Alex. She looked at him with fear. Were those people sent by Marquis Marcel and his gang? He replied casually, I do not know. They just look like ordinary bandits. Hearing this, Louise was somewhat bewildered. Is that so? She changed the subject, though her heart was still troubled. Will that horse that ran off be okay? He replied in a familiar, reassuring tone. I have sent people from the stables in that direction, so do not worry too much. Receiving his answer, Louise finally sighed in relief. That is good then. Before leaving, Alex gave serious instructions. I will bring the horse back. You go inside first. Louise nodded slightly yes. Thank you for today, Alex. With that, she quickly turned and left. As soon as she entered her room, Louise leaned over and sighed. She suddenly recalled the cruel stories from the past, her eyes shut tight. Even though Alex said that. I think they were mercenaries sent by Marquis Marcel. After all, that is the kind of people they are. 1 year ago, during the general strike of the textile factory workers, the Holden Textile Union secretly hunted down and eliminated key figures without leaving a single trace. Whispers continuously echoed during the party. Someone asked curiously if they did not like working at that textile factory, could not they just find somewhere else? The person beside them quickly replied. He said he found out who the ringleaders were. Another could not help but complain, good heavens, they only went out to earn a few extra pennies, and ended up. Louise returned to her bed, still deep in thought. I thought those words were just a joke, but a few days later, the ringleader was found near the factory's drainage ditch just before breathing his last. The workers' demands were very basic, like guaranteed lunch breaks and ventilation equipment. The voice of a noblewoman suddenly echoed in Louisa's mind. The grave mercenary group even caught my maid who ran away recently. If any of you have servants who need training, try handing them over to that mercenary group for a few hours. If you mention I referred you, they will pay special attention to them. Back to the reality, she instinctively clenched her hands. The dress that woman was wearing then probably cost more than the installation of that ventilation equipment. Both Marcel and Julia have extremely cold and ruthless personalities. Not to mention Julia is a cousin and close lady-in-waiting to the queen, so her influence is truly not to be underestimated. They surely hired the grave mercenary group to take revenge on us this time. But why were they all lying on the ground like that after Alex disappeared? The man's voice suddenly echoed, yes, he has changed, just as the Duchess has seen. Thinking of this, Louise subconsciously doubted herself. Truly, am I accepting this too easily? The scene shifted to Alex's room. He smiled the moment he saw the system board. Alex's gaze fixed on the invisible status board before him. Let us see. I have reached level 2. I need 1 more affection point and 30 more experience points for the next level. Current status newbie level 2 trust 2 reputation 337. To next level affection 1 experience 30. He pressed his lips together, thinking to himself, in my past life my level exceeded 600, yet now I am happy just reaching level 2. I can't waste time waiting for quests to appear. From now on, I need to take the initiative. If I level up quickly and defeat Axon, the final villain, I might find the reason why I came to this world. Turning his head slightly, he spoke in a calm but clearly authoritative voice. Gideon, keep a close eye on him for a while. It replied quickly, as you command, master. The next morning Marcel slammed his hand on the table. What? He whipped around, his fierce gaze sweeping toward Carson. What kind of nonsense are you talking? Carson leaned forward. Are you saying you intentionally did not tell me the Duke was hiding his strength? The air grew thick with suppressed rage. Marcel curled his lip. Not only do you have the audacity to burst into my office, but you are also babbling nonsense. He could not help but feel bewildered. Why is his face looking like that? Impossible. Is it true that even Carson was defeated by Alexis? Carson gritted his teeth. If that is the case, it will be very difficult to maintain a relationship of trust with you, Marquis, won't it? Marcel let out a sneer. Ridiculous, Carson. Are you blaming others when you could not even complete the request yourself? It seems the era of the grave mercenary group is over. Hearing this, Carson was completely silenced. Seeing this, Marcel smirked. What do you plan to do to me? Even if you are angry, you will just have to vent that anger on Alexis. Yes, just like that, crush Alexis completely. Carson spoke up grumpily. I have heard quite enough of your stories. You will regret daring to look down on our grave mercenary group. As soon as he finished speaking, he turned and left immediately. This made Marcel extremely irritated and frustrated. This fellow has no manners at all. I will only endure it this once. On Carson's side, he stepped out the door with unyielding rage. Carson did not notice that Julia had been standing behind, observing him for some time. With a pensive face, she could not help but think, it seems the atmosphere today is still just as bad. Marchioness Julia Howard, the queen of social parties, and the queen's close lady-in-waiting and cousin. I am so worried and anxious I feel like I am going crazy. Her husband, Marcel, had discovered her secret. At that time Marcel had coldly told Julia, I have heard some ridiculous rumors from somewhere. A story that my eternal delphinium has betrayed me, and is enjoying herself with another man. In that situation, Julia could only turn pale and frantically argue back. What? That is impossible. Who would make up such a nonsensical story? The more she recalled that scene, the more terrified Julia became. Marcel is the type of person who, if betrayed, will take revenge more ruthlessly than anyone else. If he finds out I have a lover, he might do to me what he usually does at the mercenary group. How on earth did Marcel hear about that? As the story went, her having a lover was an open secret among the high society. The social classes of the Lilt Empire were places where superficial peace and honor were valued more than life itself. No matter how wrong something was, people would never speak of anything that could cause conflict or dispute. That was both an unchangeable rule and an unwritten law of the high society, and at the same time it was common sense. Because the high society must always appear magnificent and brilliant for anyone looking in from the outside to admire, even if the inside was rotten and decayed. Julia seemed to understand this rule, but could only feel helpless in her own thoughts. And I do not even know which one was discovered. Since she had been secretly seeing even Marcel's best friends, she had kept quite a few other lovers besides him. However, a lover would never reveal their relationship with Julia. Doing so would not only invite Marcel's wrath but also her own resentment and anger. In the current precarious situation, Julia gritted her teeth in annoyance and thought, could it be the ladies of the high society? On the surface, everyone seemed to maintain a perfect relationship. The wives of my lovers, isn't the problem that their men only amounted to that much? Or the lady whose head maid I stole, that was simply because I attracted a capable person with better treatment. Or the ladies whose dress orders I snatched, those were all outfits won by my own capability. As soon as she thought of this, she suddenly realized something. Wait, Julia doubted in her heart, could it be that woman? In an instant Louisa's words echoed in her mind, you messed with the wrong person, Julia. I always return exactly what I receive. If you do not want to be humiliated by the one you have always looked down on, you would best keep your mouth shut. The more she heard these words, the more confused Julia became. What? After remembering, Julia put on a look of pure hatred, telling herself truly arrogant. No, stay calm. Even if I told everyone she was crawling at my feet in front of so many people, it would only damage my own dignity. Why am I suddenly thinking about what was said back then? Meanwhile, at the same time, a tea party was being held for other young ladies. Constant chatter could be heard, leaking such a rumor to the Marquis's ear. They were truly brave to dare oppose Julia. I wonder who would do such a reckless thing. Because Marcel had been going around everywhere saying he would find Julia's lover, there was practically no one in high society who did not know about it. With a hot teacup in hand, a gentle voice spoke up. It is common for nobility to have lovers, but the girls were drinking tea and gossiping. The situation with Marcel and Julia is different, after all. That is right. Marcel truly loved Julia, did not he, to the point they were once considered the most devoted couple in high society. Upon hearing this, a girl asked curiously, what will happen if Marcel finds out Julia's secret? At this question, the atmosphere suddenly became unusually quiet. They all seemed to share the same thought, there will surely be bloodshed. In a moment the blue-haired girl said, I am so worried. I do not know if Julia can handle this. It would be nice if everything just passed smoothly, but I fear the sense of betrayal Marcel feels will be immense. He truly loved Julia. The red-haired girl also sobbed in agreement, poor Julia. Despite saying that, a sinister smile had actually spread across her lips. Even the other girls were no exception. At this moment the girl in the green dress suddenly wondered, but who let this slip to Marquis Howard? That is right. It seems they are not afraid of the consequences at all. I do not know who did it, but really. Before she could finish her sentence, the atmosphere among the noble girls quickly fell silent. They were each immersed in their own judgmental thoughts. Truly wonderful, is not it? How could they think of playing a trick on Julia? The Howard family must be in total chaos. Just thinking about it is satisfying. I only hope that Marquis's house collapses completely, so I do not have to face them in high society anymore. Julia was naturally someone who thoroughly understood how to manipulate the power she held. There were times she went to talk to her cousin, the Queen, just because someone displeased her, or used her connections with the Howard weaving mill to block the supply of fabrics and dresses. Moreover, the scariest thing was that she had extensive connections with key figures in high society, making her a difficult person to touch. Rose, sitting to one side, finally spoke up. It surely was not Scarlet, was it? You were very heartbroken when your husband fell into Julia's trap. At Rose's question, Scarlet was startled. With a bewildered face she explained, Goodness, I thought that person was surely you, Rose. Julia took away the head maid you cherished most. Rose quickly countered, It was not me either. Besides, I simply yielded her to Julia. Scarlet immediately questioned back, Don't be ridiculous. Do you think I do not know you cried after your head maid was taken away? Rose looked annoyed, crossing her arms as she reminded her, Scarlet, there were even rumors that you stayed up all night in tears after your husband was stolen. Hearing this, Scarlet was silenced and could not say a word, only able to grit her teeth and endure with trembling hands. Meanwhile, Rose was still pensive in her own thoughts. This is not something for us to get angry at each other about. Everyone here is the same, but I can't express it honestly. In case someone runs off to snitch just to curry favor with Julia. As soon as she thought of this, she seemed to remember something. Thinking back, there was one woman who was an exception. 2 years ago, Kathy, in a wretched state, fell to the ground in pain. At that time, Julia had mocked her with full confidence. Duchess Brent, a tea party is held at the Marquis Howard mansion every first Wednesday of the month. But you have not participated even once. Her Majesty the Queen is also observing this self-indulgent behavior. Therefore, I am here to convey these words on behalf of the busy Queen. If you are a Duchess of the Empire, there are certain obligations you must naturally perform. If you do not like performing your duties, returning to your hometown is also an option. While she was busy mocking, numerous whispers broke out around them. Julia, on the contrary, paid no attention to that, still smirking as she added, We all know the Duchess is not that kind of person. It seems there was a lowly servant who did not work properly, so I taught her a lesson to set an example. While she was mocking, Kathy spoke up with tears rolling down her face. Madam. Please, madam. In the current situation, Louise only spoke with an indifferent manner. I wonder why the child I sent to the capital for errands has not returned yet. While they were talking, Rose stood to one side and witnessed it all. She could not help but think in shock, even if she is a servant, she is still just a child. Going this far. This is essentially torture. She is intentionally threatening to force the Duchess to obey her this way. Louise approached Kathy and said gently, You must have been in a lot of pain, Kathy. Kathy cried and replied tremblingly, Duchess, I am truly sorry. Louise added, I am very sorry for not being able to protect you. It is my fault. As soon as she finished speaking, she quickly stepped forward. Then she whispered something to Julia. The moment she heard the words from her, Julia's face quickly showed shock and bewilderment. In a moment she forced a smile and spoke up, Everyone, the Duchess has apologized for her actions, so let us be generous and sympathetic toward her. As soon as they heard these words, the nobles immediately changed their attitude. Julia is truly so thoughtful. How impressive. After all, a generous heart is the basic virtue of the nobility. Despite others thinking so, Rose did not believe Julia's words at all. That does not look like the face of someone repenting for their mistake at all. Brushing her hands, Julia said indifferently, We won't disturb the Duchess any longer. We will take our leave here. See you again. Back to the present, the more she remembered the past, the more Rose was pensive in her own thoughts. Thinking back, has not it been quite a long time since we heard any news? The red-haired girl sitting next to her suddenly spoke up. Then perhaps. Could it be Louise? As soon as they heard this name, everyone was extremely surprised and bewildered. Rose opened her eyes wide in surprise and told herself, I thought of her too, but... Scarlet interrupted in confusion, but Louise is not in the capital. The red-haired girl quickly replied, Even so, who else would reveal Julia's weakness to Marcel? Hearing this, everyone fell silent, seemingly in agreement. You are right. Rose suddenly gripped her teacup, thinking pensively, perhaps it is because she is from another country, or just because of her personality. Louise always had a feeling of not truly fitting into the nobility. Even under pressure from Julia, she just laughed it off. She never tried to curry favor with anyone. Louise's attitude made it seem like she was looking down on them, as if to say she was not involved in this mess at all. How could she stand there without a shred of fear like that? Some young ladies did not understand her, but they were jealous of her. The way she was not bound by the ranks of the nobility made her look so free. The Brent family has been completely excluded from social circles, but for some reason I feel Louise will be able to overcome it just fine. While she was absorbed in her thoughts, the blue-haired girl suddenly asked in doubt, I wonder who that person truly is. Just then, another girl suddenly entered the tea room looking completely panicked. This surprised everyone immensely. Goodness, what is wrong? Why are you so panicked? The girl who had just entered took a deep breath. Then she said seriously, I know who it is. As soon as they heard this, everyone stood up, gossiping immediately the person who spread the rumor. Who is it? The girl in the blue dress quickly replied, it seems the coachman finally confessed after being unable to bear the torture. He said Marcel told him it was an absolute secret. This filled everyone with surprise. Really, no wonder that is why it took so long to find out. If Marcel was the one preventing it, then it is certain. While everyone was talking excitedly, the girl in the blue dress interrupted, so, about who that person is. It is the Duchess of Brent. The Louise we know. Back at Louise's place, she was sleeping in a state of anxious unrest. In her dream, she was sitting beside a small hospital bed. Watching her surroundings, Louise wondered to herself, is it because I was thinking about Julia and Marcel before falling asleep that I am having a dream like this? The bleeding has stopped, but the infection is so severe that the fever won't subside. I am doing my best, but my lady, you should prepare for the worst. As the thought ended, Louise gently touched Kathy's forehead and spoke. Kathy, please hang in there. You can recover and stand on your feet again. As soon as she finished the sentence, her eyes filled with deep sadness and despair as she said, but Kathy suffered for one more week before closing her eyes forever. She was just a child who had not even grown up yet. She once said she wanted to become the best seamstress in the empire, and I promised to send her to sewing school next year. In an instant, Kathy's words echoed in Louise's mind. I think I am truly lucky to serve such a wonderful person like you, my lady. I do not know how I can ever repay this kindness when you are letting me go to school. The more she remembered, the darker Louise's expression became. She could not help but think, such a bright and pure child. It is all my fault. I should have done something. Kathy's death is still engraved deep in my heart even now. While she was lost in thought, a figure standing right in front of her squeezed her hand and called out, Louise. As soon as she saw Alex, Louise said, Alex, you said you have been through things like this too many times. That tyrant tortured the servants in this place. I know why you are just standing there taking it now. You were trying to protect everyone in your own way. Was it because that malice was aimed at those who were even weaker? As she spoke, Louise was so helpless that tears started to well up. Louise shouted loudly, pushing an innocent child to their death and only issuing a small fine. This is outrageous. As soon as the words left her lips, Louise jolted awake from her nightmare. She sat up abruptly with tears at the corners of her eyes. Rubbing her eyes, Louise thought to herself, the feeling of helplessness in that dream is still so vivid, but immediately, the image of Alex blowing someone away flashed through her mind. Not just one but many people had fallen to the ground. Pushing aside her fantasies, Louise stretched to wake herself up. A second later, a smile appeared on Louise's lips with the thought, but Alex won't hold back his emotions like before. I feel as if the fear and helplessness in my heart are also gradually breaking away. Since everything has been stripped away and there is nothing left to protect, I do not need to endure any longer. It seems it is time to release everything that has been suppressed for so long. A few days later, Alex was eating calmly while telling himself, leaving Gideon to keep an eye on Carson was indeed a good idea. Is she planning to set out today after devising a strategy for revenge? While he was lost in thought, a voice from a distance suddenly rang out, Are you enjoying your meal, Alex? Hearing this voice, Alex looked up. The person asking him was none other than Louise, with a very friendly face. As soon as she saw Alex give a nod of affirmation, she was overjoyed and said, That is good then. Seeing Louise act that way, Alex could not help but find it strange. Why has not she said a word about what happened that day? Is she pretending not to know? Louise definitely knows who took care of those mercenaries. Perhaps she thinks it is part of that great power I mentioned acquiring earlier. Anyway, it is a relief. I must not let any suspicion fall on me and decrease her favor or trust. But first, I can't miss the opportunity to gain experience points. Based on the gathering, it looks like there are at least 60 mercenaries. 5 EXP each. If I take them all down, I can gain 300 points. Immediately, Carson's image appeared in his mind with a booming tone. I repeat once more, if we do not catch that fallen duke, the honor of our mercenary group will be disgraced. We must capture him at all costs, stake the lives of our entire group on it. It is fine to kill him in the process, so everyone act with the intent to kill. Hearing that, a mercenary replied in a state of confusion and anxiety, is that really possible? His movements are extremely hard to track. Carson pointed forward and replied with a scowl, anyone who thinks it is impossible, cancel this mission immediately. No, get out of my mercenary group, drag that kid out of here right now. Seeing himself being dragged away, the mercenary was utterly helpless. Vice leader, I was wrong. Please forgive me, please. Carson did not pay any attention, still standing tall with a terrifying demeanor. Just then, someone suddenly ran up with a frantic look and announced, leader, we found him. Carson could not help but be startled. What, are you sure? The mercenary replied, I am certain of the moment he entered that house. Following that firm confirmation, Carson gave a delighted, chilling smirk. A second later he spoke up, so they finally set up their base in the north. The time has come. We will attack at sunset tonight. Back to reality. After thinking for a while, Alex remained pensive. To think they would dare stake the fate of their entire mercenary group on someone like me. Since they have put in so much effort, I should give them a fitting reward, should not I? Sunlight shone throughout the room. While changing his clothes, Alex told himself, but with my current level, it is not enough to face so many people at once. I have to finish this myself to gain the EXP. Ultimately, I still have to rely on my own strength to grow. As soon as he thought of this, he quickly tapped the system screen. Let us start with physical training missions first, especially training to increase stamina. In an instant, Alex entered another dimension. Moving his limbs, Alex spoke up, let us begin. Small drops of water pitter-pattered onto the ground. It was the sweat from Alex's hard training. He tried to cheer himself on the last set. After training for a while, Alex was panting with exhaustion. Immediately, Alex looked at the system screen with the thought, well, my HP increased a bit after completing the mission. He gently took a towel to wipe himself. Then, while wiping the sweat from his face, he spoke up, but this is still not enough. He could not help but calculate, next I need to increase my mana circles. As the thought ended, Alex closed his eyes, focusing on feeling the power from his heart. In an instant, a flow of mana radiated out, causing Alex to calculate, I should not be too greedy. For now, stopping at the second circle is enough. Trying to strengthen mana too quickly, a power source that is both potent and unstable, carries a high risk of backlash. I could lose all accumulated mana and become completely crippled. Carson, was it? I will make sure to give you a very warm welcome. In the evening, the bright moonlight illuminated every path. Alex stepped down the stairs quietly. Great, the family is still sound asleep. You probably plan to sneak in during the night and kidnap Louise and me, but I won't let your people take even half a step through the manor's door. As the thought finished, he whispered a call, Gideon. Before he could even give an order, Gideon quickly appeared and replied understandingly, I understand, my lord. Outside, the atmosphere was peaceful and quiet. Finding a place to train, Alex focused on his goal with a train of thought. They have split into 3 groups and are approaching from the east, west, and south. Each group has 20 people, making a total of 60 mercenaries. It is rare to see them mobilize so many people for a single mission. It shows how desperate Carson is to capture me. Carson is with the southern group, so I will leave them for last. East first. As soon as the thought finished, he quickly opened a large door. The system immediately displayed a notification, warning, sudden mission, defeat the mercenaries and gain EXP X2. Gain 5 EXP for each incapacitated enemy. Mission rewards EXP reputation. Reading these lines, Alex became pensive. As expected, a mission is triggered during an attack. This time, favorability and trust have been replaced by reputation. If the entire mercenary group is taken down, the total EXP received will be 300. Thinking of this, Alex broke into a joyful smile. In my past life I would not have even spared this a glance. But now, it is enough to reach level 4 even though my favorability level is still very low. Speaking of which, reaching level 2 unlocked a new magic type attack skill. The system appeared, new skill unlocked, the novice husband's satisfaction, lightning discharge. Generates an electric current strong enough to instantly incapacitate enemies. The user must control the intensity and path through thought. It can be used to create a light, tingling static electricity. The more Alex read, the more confused he looked. What kind of skill name is this? Seems like a standard lightning line skill. I wonder if it has any other uses. The system should consider the person who has to shout this name every time they use it. Anyway, there is no more time to hesitate. As the thought finished, he quickly used a skill, haste. Alex moved like the wind past each person. They did not even realize someone was there. Only looking around in confusion and wondering to themselves, what was that noise? As soon as he said that, the man jumped from an electric shock. Alex calmly said, skill, novice husband's electric shock. After finishing the action quickly, he seriously raised his head to look. Observing the scene before him, Alex wondered 95 not 100 did the Eastern team only have 19 people instead of 20? Anyway, this area is cleared. Moving to the west. Just like that, he continued using his skill to leave skill haste. Alex did not notice that there seemed to be a figure in the distance peeking at his actions. That person watched with a face dripping with cold sweat from fear, muttering to himself, I only stepped outside to pee. What the hell is happening? This is bad. I have to go warn everyone. Having finished the thought, the green-haired man hurriedly turned to flee. At Carson's location, he was waving his hand to give orders. Carson was leading a group of mercenaries. Gritting his teeth, he thought irritably, he is probably tucked in and sleeping like a baby right now, is not he? Just you wait. Just then, the green-haired man ran back in a panic, saying, Captain, Captain, which made Carson extremely confused. What? The green-haired man panted with exhaustion and spoke up, Captain, you are still safe. The more he heard, the more curious Carson became. What is the matter? With a sweat-drenched face, the green-haired man said, we have to leave this place immediately. Carson scowled and questioned, what, why all of a sudden? The green-haired man, pale-faced, explained, just run. As soon as he spoke, he thought in a panic, how can I even explain this? In the blink of an eye, 19 veterans suddenly fell because of a flash of light. Then the green-haired man continued to plead with the leader, something strange is happening, we must retreat immediately. The more Carson heard, the more he judged, you pathetic coward. If you utter any more nonsense like that, get the hell out of the mercenary squad. Hearing this, the green-haired man was shocked. What? Without another word, Carson directly shoved his shoulder. This caused the green-haired man to lose his balance and fall backward. Carson did not pay any attention to that, preparing to turn and leave with a cold face. Right at that moment, he suddenly froze with a bewildered expression. What the hell? Looking at the figure standing not far from him, Carson thought uneasily, what? He got that close and I could not sense his presence. At this time, Alex was looking at Carson with cold eyes, asking, we have met before, have not we? The moonlight gently shone everywhere. Standing under the bright moonlight, Alex looked like a true knight. As soon as he saw his appearance, Carson recognized him immediately. That is right, that face. I knew it. It is definitely him. Alexis maid, is not he that fallen duke? It is that man. While he was lost in his thoughts, the green-haired man pointed straight at Alex's face and accused, that guy slaughtered our entire team. This surprised Carson immensely. What? Who did that? Everyone in the mercenary group also looked confused. Carson spoke up in disbelief, what nonsense are you talking? How could a mere noble like him do that? Alex did not even care about their conversation, only coldly immersed in his own thoughts. No wonder the numbers were off. Did he run away? No, wait. At that high frequency, did not they even bother to check the ones who were just unconscious? Perhaps, thanks to this witness, everything will end neatly. As the thought finished, Alex spoke up loudly, you will never complete your mission, because you can't possibly defeat me. This made Carson unable to help but be confused. What the hell is going on? He wondered inwardly, how can this be? Is there a traitor? This is absurd. How could he know the secret ambush spot and show up here? It does not matter anymore. I just need to capture him here. The scattered members might have already infiltrated the manor. Immediately, Carson provocatively cheered. Fine then, if that is the case, let us see you try. As soon as his sentence finished, He directly froze because of Alex's movement. Carson's eyes widened. With a drop of sweat rolling down his face, he thought in amazement, my eyes can't catch up with him. I have felt this movement before. The more he thought, the more Carson felt as if he had been struck by lightning. He now seemed terrified, only able to stand still on the spot with an unbelievable expression. I am the leader of the Grave Mercenary Guild. I can't be trembling like this. I am the mercenary captain personally commissioned by the Emperor of the Rilt Empire. After taking down all of Carson's comrades, Alex gently approached him. At this time Carson was still frozen in place, thinking to himself, I can feel it. I can't win. But I do not want to give up and die here. At this moment Alex suddenly spoke up. This is the last time I am letting you go home with your life. Personally tell Marcel clearly, if he continues to waste money on hopeless missions like this, tell him to save that money to build a new textile factory. Faced with his murderous intent, Carson could only keep quiet, not daring to say a single word. Alex quickly used the novice husband's electric shock skill, which caused Carson's entire body to be numbly electrocuted. As soon as the opponent was defeated, the system rang out, experience points increased by 5. Congratulations, sudden mission completed. Defeated the Grave Mercenaries and received rewards. Mission reward, total experience increased by 300. Reputation increased by 100. Additional 300 experience for excellent completion. The next morning, small pretty feet stepped lightly off the bed. Louise stretched. Then while reaching her hand toward the bell pull, she thought, ah, that is right. We do not have servants anymore. It must be because of that dream and old habit. As the thought finished, Louise opened the door to watch the sunrise. Feeling the warm sunlight, she quickly let a satisfied smile appear on her lips, thinking, perhaps because I dreamed of Kathy for the first time in a long while. Reminding me of when I was still a duchess. Feels quite empty now. I am always thinking about the things I could not do for them. As the thought finished, Louise turned to leave immediately. Should go check on the sheep, should not I? As soon as she stepped out the door, she was a bit dazed. What is this? It was a small letter placed right in front of the main door. Picking it up, Louise was suspicious. Isn't this type of paper only used among the high nobility? As soon as she opened the letter, lines of information appeared. To the Duke and Duchess of Brand, we hope you two are well. It has been quite a while. We hope everyone is living peacefully. We have just learned of your whereabouts and wanted to contact you to check in, even though the two of you are no longer Duke and Duchess. We cannot ignore the relationship of all these years. Since the two of you left, the atmosphere of the nobility has become gloomier. During this time, if we join forces, our bond will grow ever stronger. If you have time, we hope you two will join the upcoming masquerade ball. Sent from the ladies who missed the Duke and Duchess of Brand. After reading for a while, Louise's face showed clear confusion. What is this? She could not help but wonder. As for how they found us, is it because we encountered Marcel's gang? Surely rumors spread quickly, but why suddenly invite us to a ball? A line of text quickly caught Louise's eye. At times like these, if we join forces, our bond will be further strengthened. This made Louise extremely confused. Cooperate, isn't it more like tearing each other apart? Continuing, the words appeared, we cannot ignore the relationships formed over many years. Since the two of you left, the atmosphere in high society has become gloomier. The more she read, the more helpless Louise thought. Can't ignore. Yet they cut off contact without a moment's hesitation. This line is worth analyzing. Did something happen between Julia and Marcel? Based on Marcel's personality, he must be vigorously hunting down Julia's lover. Julia and her lover must be trembling in fear. And the other noble ladies, even if they hide it, must be secretly gloating in their hearts. Many of them suffered because of Julia. Now the nobility must be very tense, but inviting Alex and me at a time like this means they have realized I am the one who revealed Julia's secret. As soon as she thought of this, Louise hurried back into the room. With a smile on her lips, she could not help but tell herself, they are not brave enough to attack Julia themselves, so they probably think I can do it. I have no intention of letting them use me, but this ball is also worth attending. The fact that they want to hold another party while hiding their true intentions, implying the organization of a masquerade ball. The opportunity to overturn high society has finally come. The time to make them pay for looking down on Alex and for Kathy's death. The sun shone brightly across the city. At Alex's place while working, he asked with a curious look, you were saying? A ball. Louise happily replied, yes, that is right. Somehow they found us and sent an invitation to our house. I think it would be very good if we went, but what do you think? As soon as she finished the sentence, she thought, come to think of it, he used to be a duke. Contrary to Louise's thoughts, Alex actually knew nothing about those things. He could only accept the letter from Louise with a look of immense confusion. Balls are quite foreign to me, but this is the world inside a novel. They want to invite the Duke and Duchess even though they have lost their noble status. I originally intended to increase the favorability level. Could this ball be a set-up mission? Even though he thought so, Alex was still ready to agree. I understand. If you want to, I will prepare for it. But why is the letter so crumpled? Louise forced a smile and replied, perhaps it got crumpled on the long journey here. Thank you, Alex. In that case, let us coordinate our outfits to look like a couple. We need new masks anyway. Seeing her smiling face towards him, Alex suddenly blushed in a strangely shy way. A second later, he was pensive in his own thoughts. A masquerade ball. For some reason, I feel like this ball will be an opportunity to level up. Just then, Louise suddenly suggested, how about we use aliases to participate in the ball? This took Alex by surprise. What? Louise explained with a smile, there is no point in wearing masks if we call everyone by their real names at the ball. Hearing that, Alex understood immediately. I see. Louise said, then let us decide on your name first. At her words, Alex thought carefully, a pseudonym. I have an original name I used in my past life, though I do not know if it was the real name my parents gave me. So my name will be. Immediately, Alex smiled and said, then call me Ian. Louise agreed instantly, Ian. Got it. That is a really cool name. While she was busy thinking of an alias for herself, Alex became pensive. I am not sure if I should use it like this, but Ian was the name I used in my previous life. Perhaps I can uncover the secret of my appearance in this world. Even though the only thing Alexis and I have in common is our physical features. At this moment, Louise suddenly spoke with a smile on her lips. That sounds great. So, can you call me Violet? At her question, Alex suddenly froze, his face flushing red. He shyly turned away and replied, of course. A name that perfectly suits Louise's eyes. In Louise's thoughts, the high society of the Rilt Empire was clearly divided by generations. At the top was the circle of older nobles, mostly middle-aged women. Below them were their children Louise and Alex's generation who socialized with one another. Below that was the world of young, unmarried nobles like Eloy, those who had only debuted a few years ago. Unless there was a special occasion, they usually gathered in their own age groups and rarely intermingled. But today's ball is a diverse gathering. Even with a mask on, I can still recognize people. That will make it easier to achieve my goal. Gaining the trust of the people here and bringing about Julia's downfall is just the beginning. Louise entered the party in a blue dress, looking graceful and elegant. Standing beside her, Alex suddenly whispered into her ear, it seems everyone is looking at you. As soon as he finished speaking, he told himself, especially the men. I do not like it at all. Louise smiled and spoke up, aren't they looking at you? Then, while observing her surroundings, she thought, everyone seems quite curious about our identities. It won't be easy to recognize us right away. I have completely changed my style, and as for Alex, his attitude and aura are entirely different from before. Immediately, Louise suddenly said, oh, you do not have to dance, so do not worry. You never liked dancing anyway. She seemed a bit anxious. I have attended many balls until now, but I have rarely danced with Alex. He did not even like dancing. I felt a bit sad because he was never jealous when other men invited me to dance. After moving through the crowd for a while, they finally reached the main hall, with chandeliers shining brightly, symbolizing the luxury of the nobility. Holding her companion's hand, Louise told herself, here we are. Let us go in together. Just like that, the two of them held hands and entered the hall. The electric lights shone brightly, illuminating the entire space. People were chatting busily and happily. A few musicians performed on stage with an elegant manner, playing piano pieces that touched the heart. Looking at the luxurious scene before him, Alex thought in bewilderment, this is the first time I have been to a place this grand. I have only seen places like this in movies. Feels surreal. At this moment, Louise took 2 small glasses of wine. While handing one to Alex, she wondered, here you go. What are you thinking so deeply about, Ian? Alex paused for a moment, then immediately replied, "Thank you, Lou." Violet. While the two of them were absorbed in conversation, a voice from a distance suddenly cut in, "Excuse me." It was a nobleman with blue hair. Extending his hand forward, he offered, "If you do not mind, may I have the honor of a dance?" Hearing this, Louise was lost in her own thoughts. A request for a dance, come to think of it, I have felt those stares the whole time. While she was lost in thought, Alex noticed the countless eyes looking at the two of them with suspicion. Are they waiting for a chance to dance with Louise? Don't these guys have partners? And to request a dance while she is standing right next to her partner. The more he thought, the more his anger showed. Meanwhile, Louise was smiling as she gently declined, "I am sorry, my stamina is limited, so I will only dance 3 times. At her words, the nobleman became a bit awkward. "Ah well." Louise lightly touched his hand and said, "I think I should accept the first dance partner to honor the courage of the first person who asked." This made the nobleman very happy. "Thank you." Just like that, Louise left with him. She could not help but turn back to remind Alex, "I will be back in a bit, Ian." Alex stood rooted to the spot, watching her walk off with another man. Their joined hands were the focus of his attention. It made Alex so angry that he crushed the wine glass in his hand. It seemed it happened so unconsciously that even he did not realize it. Alex could not help but sigh helplessly, then placed the 2 glasses on a waiter's tray. Just then, a young lady not far away suddenly noticed him. She gently approached. Before she could speak, Alex asked, I have a question. May I ask you?" The young lady quickly replied, "Oh yes. Of course, feel free to ask." Alex gritted his teeth and asked with a terrifying expression, "Is it normal here to dance with a stranger you have just met?" At his question, the young lady was confused. "Pardon?" At Louise's side, she was enjoying the dance with the nobleman. Louise spoke softly, "Mysterious gentleman, may I ask a favor of you?" As soon as the words left her mouth, she calculated in her mind, "I have attracted enough attention and enough time has passed. So shall we begin?" The nobleman replied, "Oh yes, please tell me." Louise said, "Thank you." This made the nobleman even more flustered. "Don't say that. I am honored to be given the first dance by a lady." With a bewitching gaze, the graceful Louise said, "I want you to look only at me until this dance is over." Faced with the alluring figure before him, the nobleman naturally agreed immediately. Of course, looking elsewhere is unimaginable. This made Louise secretly rejoice. If you looked away and recognized that person over there, dancing with you would be a waste of effort. Having finished the thought, she continued to dance with the nobleman. After observing for a while, Louise coldly told herself, "That is right. Just as I thought, there you are." The person Louise was watching was none other than Julia, standing not far away. In Louise's thoughts, I accepted this man's dance invitation for 2 reasons. First, I need to attract everyone's attention, enough to catch Julia's eye. Just imagine how furious she will be when she sees someone even more prominent than herself appear. Whether my identity is revealed here or not does not matter anymore. After all, my goal is to threaten Julia. And the second reason is that this man's voice sounds very familiar. While she was lost in thought, the nobleman suddenly wondered, "Is this the lady's first party? It seems no one in the hall knows who you are." Louise immediately replied, Who knows, perhaps everyone is just pretending not to know." The nobleman quickly said, "No, being able to dance with a lady as beautiful as you is a first for me." Hearing that, Louise smiled and told herself, "That is right. This is my first time dancing with this person. Because I am the wife of Duke Brent, whom the whole empire looks down upon, many thought dancing with me would be shameful. In particular, this man is even more arrogant than the others because he is the lover Julia dotes on the most. I remember very well that flattering voice he used to stroke Julia's ego." Finishing the thought, Louise asked with a beautiful air, "By the way, I wonder if it is really okay for you to be dancing with me like this? Would any lady be jealous or angry to see you with me like this?" The nobleman replied with a blushing face, "Not at all. My soul is free." Glancing to one side, Louise softly said, "It seems there is a lady staring at you over there. Or is it just my imagination?" Hearing this, the nobleman hurriedly looked in the direction Louise was pointing. Seeing him like that, Louise immediately reminded him, "Oh dear, you promised to look only at me until the dance was over." The nobleman was a bit startled by this and replied, My apologies." Louise's expression suddenly changed, thinking coldly, I did not expect Julia to appear at the ball looking so perfect. I guess Marcel still has not found out about her lover. If you do not want Marcel to catch wind of this by making a scene, you would better stay still right there, Julia. As soon as he finished a dance with Louise, the nobleman suggested, I did not expect this piece to be so short. If you do not mind, could you grant me the miracle of a second dance? Louise smiled politely, but her heart was full of calculations. Dancing consecutively would irritate Julia even more, but increasing Violet's value in the long run is better than momentary pleasure. Having finished the thought, she immediately said, It is a pity, but since there are only 3 chances, I intend to take my time and enjoy them. The nobleman's disappointment was clear on his face, as he said, I see. It is a shame, but I accept. In an instant, Louise turned and left without looking back. Then have a wonderful time. She walked slowly while observing in doubt, where was Alex standing just now? He always waits for me in the same spot. I want to dance with Alex after such a long time. Should I just ask him, even if he is clumsy, if I lead him naturally then? Just then a piece of music started, taking Louise by surprise. A new song has started. I have to get down there quickly, or I will bump into the dancers. Just as she predicted, a figure appeared right behind Louise. That person directly wrapped their arms around her waist, leaving her completely stunned. With confusion and irritation, Louise thought to herself, who is this? Thinking that, she quickly raised her hand. However, before Louise could act, a hand firmly held hers. This astonished Louise. Oh, she seemed very surprised by the current situation. What is this strange strength? He is not budging at all. Seeing Louise like that, the person in front of her immediately reassured her, Violet, it is me. Hearing that voice, Louise froze for a moment and asked blankly, Alex. Alex gently touched her hand with his. Then he interlaced their fingers. This caused Louise to blush deeply in embarrassment. Gently embracing Louise, Alex said, even so, at this distance I do not think we need to hide anymore, Louise. As he touched her bare back, Louise was lost in thought. Now that I know it is him, the discomfort has completely vanished. No, it was not discomfort, but actually. Before she could finish her thought, she spoke with a hesitant tone, what is this? This is so sudden. You startled me. I almost slapped you. Alex, on the contrary, remained very calm and said, I was already prepared for that. Isn't the first dance usually meant for one's partner? Hearing this, Louise hurriedly explained, no, I mean if you wanted to dance with me, you just had to say so. Why do it like this when you were prepared to be slapped? With a darkened expression, Alex countered, you told me you were not going to dance. These words silenced Louise instantly. In an instant, her previous words flashed through her mind. I said I did not like dancing, then Louise could not help but tell herself, that is because I was thinking of Alex, who did not like dancing because he was clumsy. While she was lost in thought, Alex continued, I thought all 3 chances had been stolen by those other guys. Witnessing my partner being stolen away a slap is definitely much better than that. Hearing these words, Louise stood frozen on the spot. With wide eyes, she was full of amazement. Does this man always have a way of making people's hearts race? I can't take my eyes off him. It is like I have been bewitched. Just then the sound of glass breaking suddenly rang out. Julia shouted grumpily, who is that woman? Seeing her like that, all the nobles standing around fell silent, not daring to say a word. Rose hurriedly approached to check on her. Julia, what if you cut your hand? Julia paid no attention to that, only gritting her teeth and saying, there is no way that woman should be here. Immediately, a train of thought surfaced in her mind. It is absurd that my Owen would invite another woman to dance, but his partner is even more absurd. She may try to hide with a mask in her attire, but she can't fool me. The more she thought, the less Julia could control her emotions. She stomped her feet and screamed, Arg, how could that hag come to the ball? She is not even a noble anymore. Scarlet quickly chimed in, it is truly strange. Perhaps she stole an invitation from somewhere. Finishing the thought, she said to herself, thinking of the illustrious Julia in this state, I guess I have become too sensitive because I am worried Marcel might find out. I was right to change it to a masquerade ball using Marcel as an excuse. If it were not a masquerade, Louise would not have even dreamed of coming here. I intentionally invited Louise, but I did not expect to provoke her to this extent. This is beyond my expectations. Not only Scarlet, but even Rose was very amused by the current situation. Meanwhile, Julia was visibly furious, thinking irritably, I organized a masquerade ball so Marcel would not poke around, yet he dares to take advantage of it to dance with another woman. And Louise of all people. She is the one who revealed my secret to Marcel. I will kill her. Finishing the thought, she spoke up right now. Julia was so angry she gave a fierce order, "Bring that hag here to me immediately." Meanwhile, at Louise's side, she was dancing with Alex when she was startled by a sudden realization. Oh, that is right. This is the dance floor. Standing still among these dancers will be a nuisance. While she was lost in thought, Louise was extremely surprised by her dance partner. I did not realize I was moving and dancing according to his lead. I am actually moving according to his right foot's guidance. Alex, who used to have 2 left feet, was not a good dancer before. The more she thought, the more confused Louise became. Even if it was a dance he did often enough to perform with his eyes closed, he did not have many chances to dance. It is not that he did not remember the steps, it is that his stiff movements simply did not suit dancing. At this time, Alex was looking at her intently. He smiled, then spun her gently, so that Louise only had to move along. In this situation, Louise was extremely surprised. "Have you always been this good at dancing?" Alex calmly replied. "No, I just relearned it." This made Louise curious. "Since when?" "Oh, perhaps after you were reborn," Alex whispered. "Perhaps so." Immediately, Louise's thoughts surfaced. I glided across the dance floor under Alex's lead. I felt so light, like I was walking on clouds. While they were absorbed in the dance, countless eyes were fixed on them. Who is that couple? They are so beautiful and perfect. Their dance is magnificent. After one dance, Alex and Louise quickly finished. At Louise's smile, the system suddenly rang out. Affection level increased by 1. Alex gently led her away from the spot. Immediately, Louise quickly grabbed a glass of wine. Then she downed it in one go. She slammed the empty glass down on the tray. Then she turned to Alex and said, "Ian, shall we go out for a bit of fresh air?" Seeing her so sudden, Alex froze for a moment, then replied, "Yes, of course." The two of them quickly went outside under the dim lights. Standing in front of Alex, Louise spoke up. "I really enjoyed the party today. I do not know when you prepared for this, but thanks to that, I am very happy to have enjoyed the party with you." As she spoke, the system continued to display notifications. Affection level increased by 1. Affection level increased by 1. Reading this, Alex could not help but think the affection level keeps rising. I can see how satisfied Louise is. Meanwhile, Louise continued to praise him. "You are quite skilled. How much did you practice?" At her question, Alex only thought pensive. "That is quite strange." "That is right, it is definitely strange. Mastering classical dances in my previous life was entirely for a dungeon key. Mastery skills remaining for the reward 7 out of 10. Skills: cooking, musical instruments, ballroom dancing. To get the key for the next stage, I had to master all kinds of skills. You failed to master the ballroom dancing B course. Do you want to try again? Warning: if you quit halfway, the death penalty will be applied. Because the penalty was so harsh, I could not run away or give up. But for some reason I feel like this course was set up for today. I used to wonder why I had to learn it, but it finally came in handy here." After thinking for a while, Alex finally spoke. "It is strange. It is as if I learned it just for you, Louise." This took Louise by surprise. With a bit of embarrassment she replied, "I did not know you could say such things." Alex did not reply, only lowered his eyes and told himself, were those missions from my past life really for this world? For the woman standing in front of me, whose affection I must receive. I can feel her deep affection for Alex just by looking into her eyes. I am actually a bit jealous that Alex is loved so much. Seeing him standing still, Louise could not help but find it strange. "What are you thinking so deeply about?" Alex shyly looked away, then answered her question, "That the man who has you as a wife is truly lucky." Hearing this, Louise laughed happily. "Oh my." Because of that, the system rang out. Affection level increased by 1. Louise could not help but wonder, "Since when did you become so smooth-tongued?" Alex gently touched his mask with a train of thought. "I am glad I am wearing a mask. I can't let myself look pathetic by blushing in front of another man's wife." Just then Louise suddenly said, "Alex, you are so adorable." In an instant she stood on her tiptoes. A notification also quickly displayed. Affection level increased by 1. In this situation, Alex was so nervous and shy that he swallowed hard. 2 pairs of small lips slowly moved closer together. However, before doing anything, Louise backed away and said happily, "He, at times like this, I realize how tall you are. It is hard to kiss you." Meanwhile, the notifications continued. Affection level increased by 1. Alex was still visibly dazed, only able to tell himself, "Did our lips just touch? It happened so fast. I am not sure if they actually touched or not. I do not know." While he was lost in thought, Louise suddenly suggested, "Would you mind helping me a little so I can try again?" As soon as the words left her mouth, a smile appeared on her face. This made Alex extremely shy. "I feel like my heart is about to explode." Despite that, he still followed what Louise said. Alex leaned down slightly. In an instant, their lips were touching. Louise seemed to enjoy it immensely. After a while, she finally let Alex go. In this situation, Alex just held her waist and savored the moment. Even though a wave of anxiety rose within him, a kiss should not have happened. It might hurt Louise, who believes I am the real deal. But at this very moment, I do not want to let her down. At another location, the sound of footsteps rang out incessantly. Julia let out a sigh. Phew. She could not help but tell herself, there is no shortage of men even without Owen. No matter what Louise does, I, Julia, am still the queen of this high society. This is nothing more than discarding a lover, but I will make you pay a heavy price for daring to challenge me. You will soon be dragged before me, begging for forgiveness. That is right, you even came here yourself. That is just perfect. I will make you regret ever daring to oppose me, Louise. No matter what, I am the one who attracts everyone's attention. At every ball, Julia always stands at the center, partly because of her beauty, but also because she loves enjoying everyone's gaze by instigating all sorts of incidents. Her scheming and blatant bullying were an open source of entertainment in high society. Julia even took immense pleasure in watching people gossip and mock others. There were those who left high society because of it, but Julia called that a lack of perseverance. That was how Julia's society operated. With cold eyes, Julia thought to herself, what is this? It feels a bit different from usual. There are no gasps of admiration, no words of praise. Don't tell me they do not recognize me because of the mask. That is impossible. While Julia was lost in thought, Rose approached from a distance and cut in. Everyone seems unusually distracted tonight. Did something happen? Standing beside her, Scarlett could not help but agree. I wonder. Julia is back, so this reaction should not be happening. Julia scowled, still immersed in her own thoughts. Seeing Louise dance with Owen made me choke with rage, so I only left the main hall for a moment to go to the lounge to calm down. Yet in that short span of time, what on earth happened? At that moment, she suddenly noticed something in one direction. It was a group of people not far away, whispering and discussing animatedly. Julia is still Julia even with a mask. You are truly beautiful. As soon as she heard those words, Julia approached and asked Belisa, did you just get here? Belisa hurriedly replied, no, I have been here a while. But have you seen them, Julia? Julia wondered, seen what? Belisa answered with a bright smile. A magnificent couple appeared. Everyone is busy gossiping about them. Hearing this, Julia asked irritably, a magnificent couple? She seemed full of doubt. Who are they talking about? Everyone at the party was currently full of praise. I have never seen such a magnificent dance in my life. It was as if they were one with the music. That gentleman's aura overshadowed the whole performance. Even a mask could not hide such presence. Their skills are incredible. Just looking at the dance, that gentleman must have completely captured the lady's heart. Yes, absolutely. It looks like they could sweep your soul away. The more she heard, the colder Julia's gaze became as she asked, exactly who are they talking about, Belisa? Among the people Julia had invited, there was no one who could dance that well. Belisa quickly replied, oh my, it seems Julia has not seen them yet. Actually, I saw them. It looked like Lou appeared, along with an unbelievable man. At Louise's side, she was enjoying a kiss with Alex. While kissing him, Louise thought to herself, I did not expect Alexis to be this proactive, and he is good at it too. Just then, Alex suddenly picked her up. Then he gently placed Louise down beside a clear pool of water. After a moment of intimacy, Louise suddenly called out in surprise. Ah, Alexis. She spoke shyly, I am a bit startled. We are husband and wife, yet I am bashful in an inexplicable way. Before, he did not even dare to hold my hand. What is wrong with you today? Alex replied, Lou. However, before he could finish the sentence, he paused. Then he carefully observed his surroundings. Alex whispered, "If we are to continue, let us move somewhere else." At his words, Louisa's face turned beet red as she questioned, "Oh my, he is even making an invitation. Why are you so bold today?" Her mind whirled with fantasies. But if we move somewhere else, what will happen? Usually when a man and a woman move to a waiting room at this time, it means that thing. Despite her thoughts, Louise obediently followed Alex. In her train of thought, "But if I disappear with Alexis now, I won't be able to finish what I plan to do at the ball." For the sake of the bigger goal, Louise had to refuse. "Alexis, you are making my heart feel like it is going to burst, but let us calm down for now. Let us save it for later. Okay, we will continue later." As she finished the sentence, she told herself, "I must not forget the reason I came to this masquerade ball." Then Louise added, "The best part of a masquerade is always at the very end." Louise seemed to have her own calculations. "I can be with Alexis anytime, but now I need to go finish what I started." Looking at everyone's reaction, it seems the plan was a success. The admiration and curiosity. Alexis's amazing dance helped a lot in grabbing everyone's attention. They must be very curious about our identities by now. Julia's reaction to this atmosphere is also very predictable. "This is the first time I have done something like this, and my heart is pounding." As the two of them moved through the party, countless whispers rang out, "Those two are back. Look at them, they are still so perfect. Do you think they are a couple? With that atmosphere, how could they not be?" Hearing that, Louise only smirked and thought, "This is Duke Brent and his wife, the people you all once looked down upon. Yes, I guess they would not expect us to show up at a ball like this after losing our titles, since showing our faces again after being publicly humiliated like that would be considered bizarre." Having finished the thought, Louise wondered, "How do you feel, Alexis?" This made Alex a bit confused. "Pardon," Louise replied, "everyone is looking at you with admiration. You might think I am being childish, but once those who used to despise us find out who we are, I am very curious to see what expressions they will make." Hearing this, Alex seemed to realize something. I see." Seeing his reaction, Louise sighed helplessly and thought, "Is Alexis not very interested in revenge? My heart is racing and I feel a rush of victorious pleasure. I feel like coming here is only worth it if we make it so they can never mock us again." Just then Julia suddenly approached Louise. She spoke up mockingly, "Don't be fooled, everyone." This made everyone extremely confused. "What do you mean, Julia?" Julia pointed at Louise and replied, "These people have no right to be here." Hearing that, everyone was shocked and stunned. Meanwhile, Julia stood confidently in front of Louise, just like before. At Julia's words, the crowd's admiration shifted to judgment. Who do they think they are to dare come to a place like this? Aren't they afraid of His Majesty the Emperor? Julia smiled proudly. With wide eyes, she told herself, "Others might be fooled, but not my eyes."